Kouri Richins is currently in a hearing right now. And if you guys don't remember who Kouri Richins is, she is the book author who wrote a children's book to help grieving kids deal with losing a parent. And in her scenario, she lost her husband and, the father of her, I think she has like 2 or 3 kids. But she's currently, about to go into trial possibly because she's accused of poisoning her husband with fentanyl by giving it to him in a Moscow Mule. And she was also reportedly having a house party that same day when her husband passed. And yeah, I don't know, things aren't looking good for her, but we'll see. I want to listen to this detention hearing that's happening right now. And we are behind, but we'll listen to it in like maybe 1.25. It's a little bit too fast. I'll slow it down and I'll try to adjust accordingly. So I hope you guys are having a good day. And hello. We're going to listen to Kouri Richins' detention hearing. And thank you so much, Court TV.
April of this year. This case is an active case and the investigation's ongoing.
Detective, what was the sheriff's office first involvement in this case?
No captions because it's live right now, but hopefully the audio is clear and good. Hi, Jaron. How are you doing today?
On March 4th, 2022, at 3:22 hours, Summit County Dispatch received a 911 call regarding an unresponsive male in the Francis area.
Have you listened to that 911 call?
Yes.
Who placed that call?
The defendant, Kouri Richins.
In addition to saying that someone was unresponsive, did Ms. Richins, the defendant, identify who was unresponsive and anything else about that person's condition?
Hey,
Yes,
guys.
she stated that it was her husband, Eric Richins, that was unresponsive, that he was cold to the touch and not breathing.
Did EMS and police respond to that address?
Yes.
Is that the family home?
Yes.
Was a portion of the police and EMS response captured on police body camera video?
Yes, it was.
Have you reviewed that video?
Yes, I have.
On that video, what time does EMS pronounce Eric Richins dead?
03:58 hours on March 4th.
So that's Kouri Richins right here. Apparently, she served her husband a Moscow Mule. She said that she left the bed in the middle of the night to go tend with her kids. I think she said that like one of her kids might have having a nightmare or something. So she stayed with the kid and she didn't realize that something had happened to her husband until later on. And then when she came back to the husband, he was already deceased at that time. And that's when she had called 911. Now, I forgot what was like some fuzzy things about. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Fuzzy, it's good. I know, I wish I had captions in here. I'm really sorry. They don't have the captions on right now. But where is she from? I'm not quite sure. She might be from Utah. I have to look it up. She hired a locksmith to drill open her husband's. Oh, and another thing. Apparently, she had tried to change her husband's life insurance policy beneficiary. But lo and behold, she didn't know. Her husband changed it. I think either changed it back or just changed to his sister. So when the husband passed, I believe that a lot of the stuff, a lot of his assets, his money, weren't even going to go to her because he had to change everything. And it was going to go to his sister, his family, and stuff like that. So I know she was battling out in court for a little bit against his family.
What, if anything else, does EMS say about how long he had been dead?
One of the EMS personnel made the comment that he had been dead a while.
Yes, Utah.
Did the state medical examiner's office conduct an autopsy of Mr. Richins?
Yes, they did.
Have you reviewed the medical examiner's autopsy report?
Yes.
And the toxicology report that's part of that?
Yes.
What did the medical examiner identify as the cause of death?
Drug intoxication, with the specific drug being fentanyl.
I'm going to now ask you, detective, some questions about someone with the initial CL. Do you know who I'm talking about when I say CL?
Yes, I do.
Oh, the drug
Who
dealer.
is CL in relation to the defendant?
Right?
CL is an associate of the defendant. She cleaned houses for the defendant's business, as well as her personal home at times.
Does CL have a criminal drug history?
Yes.
Is she under supervision in a different county, a county other than Summit County?
Yes, she is.
And is that in relation to certain drug charges?
Yes.
Does the program...
Her lawyer looks evil. Hey, don't be saying stuff like that. Come on. If her lawyer says some stupid shit, we'll call her out on it. But yeah, don't be making fun of her, man. Come on.
Does the court program
We
which
ain't there
she's
yet.
in monitor treatment and
She looks fine to me.
testing, et cetera?
Yes.
Do you know how CL is performing in that program?
Based on my interactions with CL, she is progressing through the stages of that program, and that
Oh,
her
CL is a
personal
she.
outlook on her recovery is optimistic.
Have you interviewed CL in connection with this case?
Yes.
Approximately how much time have you spent interviewing her?
Over the course of multiple interviews, several hours each, I would say upwards of 10 hours.
Was CL in custody when you interviewed her?
Yes, she was.
Was that interview captured on video and audio recording?
Yes.
What, if any, promises did you make regarding, or to CL regarding her cooperation with being interviewed?
CL was not made any specific promises, but at the outset of our interviews, we explained to her that her cooperation in our investigation would result in us working with the prosecutors that were responsible for the charge.
And just a reminder, I just looked it up for a reminder. She has 3 kids, 3 sons, 9, 7, 5 years old, who lost their dad and possibly might lose the mom too. This is just, I don't know, it's just a fuck situation for their kids. I feel so bad for them.
That she was facing.
Did you express to CL the seriousness of this case as well as the charges she was facing?
Yeah.
Yes, we expressed to her the seriousness of the charges and the possible results of those charges. As well, we impressed upon her the importance or the value of her testimony in this case as it related to the charges that she was facing, and that her testimony or any information that she may have was more important to us.
Did you stress to CL that the information you were asking her about needed to be credible and verifiable?
Yes, we told her at the beginning of our interview that any information that she may have, we would need to corroborate in order for it to be of value to us.
Did CL cooperate with being interviewed?
Yes, she did.
Did CL know Eric Richins?
Yes, CL told us that during the time that she spent cleaning the Richins home, she got to know Eric, that she felt that he was a really good person, she liked him, and she was very saddened to hear that he had passed away.
Did there come a time when investigators executed a search warrant on CL's home?
Stacey
Yes.
Castor? Never heard of them before.
In
that
executing
recent?
that warrant, did you make any observations consistent with CL's testimony that she felt bad about Eric Richins' death?
Yes, inside the home, we identified a bedroom that belonged to CL. In the bedroom, there was a mirror above a desk. On the mirror were taped or affixed several inspirational quotes that seemed to relate to her recovery and her drug court program. Amongst all those inspirational quotes was a newspaper clipping of Eric Richins' obituary.
Did you get the impression that part of the reason CL cooperated is because she felt bad for Eric Richins?
Yes, in fact, she said so many times in our interviews.
Jeez.
Detective, I want to turn now to what, if anything, CL told you about the defendant requesting that CL purchase fentanyl for the defendant. What did CL tell you?
In our interviews, CL told us that in early 2022, the defendant reached out to her either by phone call or text message requesting that she procure fentanyl for what the defendant reported was an investor who had a back injury.
And upon the defendant asking CL to get fentanyl, what did CL do?
CL told us that she reached out to an acquaintance of hers, acquaintance 1, and requested that she introduce her to somebody that could sell her fentanyl.
Did Kouri Richins have like a burner phone or something like that? Or was she doing this on her main phone and she thought deleting text messages and calls would be sufficient from them being able to track everything back to her? Did she at least have a burner phone? Hi, Bleep. How are you doing today? Allegedly, third time she tried to poison her husband. I know that, like, I think the husband's family has mentioned that the husband had some sort of like, they went on vacation. The husband had like some sort of like, he got really sick. And for some reason, the husband was like, oh my God, I think my wife's trying to poison me or something, which is like really odd because like, what kind of relationship would you guys have? You know, why would you want to be with someone if you thought they would try to poison you every chance you get? If I got sick, I'd just be like, hey, maybe I have food poisoning or something. But yeah, allegedly. It's what the family, the victim's family has said. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Did acquaintance 1 introduce CL to someone that could sell CL fentanyl?
Oh, what love were
Yes,
you?
CL said that acquaintance 1 provided her with a phone number of another acquaintance, acquaintance 2, who was someone that she knew could sell CL fentanyl.
And did CL say that she ultimately contacted acquaintance 2?
Yes, she did.
What, if anything, did CL say about purchasing fentanyl from acquaintance 2?
CL told us that she contacted acquaintance 2 after receiving his phone number and asked to arrange to meet to purchase some fentanyl from him. She stated that sometime in February, she believed she met up with acquaintance 2 at a Maverick gas station in Draper and purchased from him 15 to 30 round green-blue pills, which she understood to be fentanyl.
Using phone records.
This is why I stay single. Listen, when you watch true crime and stuff like that, don't let it apply to your daily life, okay? The stuff that happens in true crime, it doesn't happen often, okay? I mean, depending on what case it is, but like in cases of like murder, poisoning, assassinations, and stuff like that, you know, you have a very high chance of not happening to you. So there are a lot of like pluses in like, you know, being in a relationship and stuff, Tiny Ghost. So don't let it deter you, okay? She's definitely bringing back the shoulder pads. Look, last time I wore shoulder pads was when in 9th grade. I actually went to the clothing store recently, and there's this blazer I tried on. They all had fucking shoulder pads on, and they look weird on me. I don't like shoulder pads. Let's see. So, hi, Tay. Sorry if you already talked about this, but did you see the newly released photos of Lexi very clearly pregnant? Can you link it to me? If you're in my Discord, just link it. I might have seen them. You think that he would never take another drink or meal from her again. But here's the thing, though. Like, they live in the same household. He's the mother of his children. And what are you going to do? Like, keep avoiding, like, everything that she makes, drinks? And it's tough. So, I don't know. We'll have to see if there's any evidence of the husband having any inclinations that, you know, his wife has tried to poison him in the past. Or maybe it's just, like, some talk from the family. But, yeah, we'll see. Too many crazies out there. Hi from Greece. Hi, Anna. How are you doing today? How's it going? Oh, there's a demo there? Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, maybe I'll try it out.
Records through the course of your interview with CL, were you ultimately able to narrow down on what that date was in February that CL purchased fentanyl from acquaintance 2 at the Maverick in Draper?
Yes, based on forensic evidence, we were able to determine that that date was February 11th, 2022.
What, if anything, did CL say about what she did with the fentanyl pills that she purchased from acquaintance 2?
CL told us that after purchasing the pills from acquaintance 2, she returned home to her house in Heber. She said that either later that night or the next day, the defendant met her in the driveway of that home and did a hand-to-hand exchange of pills for cash.
Jeez.
I'm going to turn now, Detective, to some questions.
Wait, did I miss it? Is she even close with CL? Because if CL was just like some person, like maybe like a acquaintance who you happen knew to sell drugs, like why would you expect CL to keep your secrets for you? You know, why would CL be like, oh, by the way, like, you know, yeah, I didn't sell her for any fentanyl, da, da, da. Like, I don't know why she would think that CL would keep her secrets for her. Like, if they were like super, super close, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. But were they even close, or it's just like acquaintances?
Regarding witnesses who corroborate CL's testimony, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Nightwolf.
You mentioned acquaintance number 1. Have investigators interviewed acquaintance 1?
Right.
Have you reviewed body camera, audio, and video of that interview?
Yes.
Does acquaintance 1 corroborate CL's testimony?
Yes. She stated that CL contacted her in early 2022 and asked for someone that could sell her fentanyl. In the body cam, she also retrieves her cell phone and shows investigators the messages that corroborated that.
Sorry, my hair's
What
drying.
kind of messages were they?
They were messages between acquaintance 1 and CL on Facebook Messenger app.
And have you reviewed those messages?
Yes.
Is the first of those messages dated February 6, 2022 at 1:37 p.m.?
Yes.
Does it read, text me, I've got a question, won't do it on this?
Yes.
And that's CL writing acquaintance 1, asking acquaintance 1 to text CL because she didn't want to write over Facebook Messenger?
Correct.
Did acquaintance 1 say whether or not she ever, in response, contacted CL?
Yes. She said that she then either texted or called her subsequent to her request.
You testified that acquaintance 2 sold fentanyl pills to CL at the Maverick in Draper. Have investigators interviewed acquaintance 2?
Yes.
Have you reviewed body camera, audio, and video of that interview?
Yes, I have.
I'm surprised she ain't got a notepad and she ain't doing any writing. Usually they like to do a little bit of writing of their own. Also, wow, the gallery's really packed back there.
Is acquaintance 2 able to corroborate CL's testimony?
Yes, acquaintance 2 was able to recall that he sold fentanyl pills to a friend of acquaintance 1's in early 2022 at a Maverick gas station in Draper.
I'm going to turn now, Detective, to some forensic data questions and whether forensic data corroborates CL's narrative, okay?
Okay.
Oh, from ABC? Really? Where?
Have you reviewed carrier records of the defendant's phone?
Yes.
And I want to just clarify one thing. I'm talking right now about carrier records, different than cell data records. We'll have an expert testify about cell data records in a moment. I'm just going to ask you about the carrier records, okay?
Okay.
What, if anything, do the carrier records for the defendant's phone, or what, if anything, in the carrier records for a defendant's phone corroborate CL's testimony?
The cell records from the defendant's phone show several phone calls back and forth between her and CL in early 2022.
Do they show any text messages back and forth between the defendant and CL?
Yes, several.
Have you reviewed those text messages?
We were only able to see the timestamps and who the sender and receiver was. We're not able to see the content of those messages because they appear to be deleted from both the defendant's phone and CL's phone.
Oh, but can they recover it? Didn't she read a children's book about losing a parent that is on next level crazy? Yeah, so after her husband died, she decided to help her kids grieve by writing a children's book with her kids. And that she went on like a little, I don't know if it was like, she went on like one book tour thing where she like showed up on like the, there's an interview that was online. And she was like talking about the kids' book about how like, you know, it's like tough for kids to lose a parent and stuff like that. But then later on, like I think a year later is when they arrest her and accuse her of murdering her husband with fentanyl. Was the greed worth it? No. It's like, I don't know. It's like, I can't believe how people can be so short-sighted. And then also let's say like, you know, she doesn't get convicted, right? What's going to happen is if she gets custody of her kids again, there's going to be a huge rift between her kids, with the mom and the other side of the family. I don't know. I feel like your family's just kind of, it's pretty ruined. It's going to be really hard to repair things, you know? Because I'm sure as hell the victim's family, they're probably going to think that she did it for the rest of their lives.
Have you reviewed the call history and carrier records of CL's phone?
Yes.
Does CL's carrier records and call history corroborate CL's testimony?
It was actually the same day, Rain.
Yes.
Is there a particular set of calls on February 11th, 2022 between 5:19 p.m. and 6:52 p.m. in CL's phone history?
Yes.
Did you question CL regarding those calls?
Yes. She said those calls were to acquaintance two and that they were to arrange the specific date and time to pick up fentanyl in Draper.
Turning now from CL's purchasing fentanyl for the defendant to the defendant's purported timeline on the night of Eric Richins' death, okay?
Okay.
You mentioned earlier that police interactions with the defendant were captured on video. Have you reviewed that video?
Yes, I have.
Did the defendant provide police with a written statement in the early morning of March 4th, 2022?
Yes, she did.
Corey, did her drawing attention to herself get her in trouble, or is she already being investigated? You mean like her writing a book? Did it draw attention to her case, and then people are like, "Oh, something is like iffy with it"? I'm assuming that there was already something iffy that the police were kind of like, and maybe like the victim's family as well had suspicions about her. That probably made her, you know, become the subject of investigation. So I don't know if this is the book itself, but I think it was just, there's probably already something that was like kind of going on the side. The reason why they investigated, that would make sense to me. He had changed life insurance received from his wife to his sister and didn't tell the wife. Yep. Man, imagine doing all that. And then she tried to go, you know, she tried to go to court to battle it out. Apparently like some news outlet was reporting that, the day that her husband died, she was celebrating like getting a house because she was like doing like investment real estate or something like that. Like she flips houses or something. I don't know. But yeah, like apparently she was like throwing like a party in this new house, and some of the guests didn't even know that her husband had passed that same day, which is wild. And they were saying that I think like his sisters like showed up or something, and they got like some sort of like altercation that may have gotten physical. But yeah, I don't know. There was like a couple news outlets that reported that. Hey, Johnny, how are you doing today? How's it going?
Have you reviewed that statement?
Yes.
What on the early morning of Eric Richins' death did the defendant report had happened that evening?
She stated that the last time that she saw Eric alive was between 9:30 and 9:45 p.m. She stated that before going to bed, they had a drink together to celebrate closing on a house for her business. She said that they got in bed between 9:30 and 9:45, and that shortly after getting into bed, one of the children had a nightmare, and that the defendant got out of bed and went to be with that child in their bedroom and slept in that bedroom until 3 a.m. or around 3 a.m. when she woke. She stated she returned to her own bedroom, got into bed, and felt that Eric was cold to the touch. She stated that she turned the light on, saw that he wasn't breathing and that he didn't look normal, and that she then called 911.
Because I wonder if, like, let's say this goes to trial, right? I wonder if her defense then would be like, oh, okay, well, I did get the fentanyl, but I actually got it for my husband. And, you know, my husband was the one that took the fentanyl that night. He decided to put in his Moscow meal and he did it to himself. I wonder if she's going to take that route. Because if she does, would it be hard for the prosecution to prove that she was the one that drugged him? Yeah, I'm like trying to think that, like, you know, how else would she, what are some different ways that the defense is going to, you know, what are they going to do? And, yeah, how she would be acquitted if she gets acquitted. Chicken problems your girl had for the true crime and distraction. Oh no, are your chickens okay? Are the kids okay? Well, the kids, I'm assuming, is probably with the deceased husband's family, probably. But I mean, mentally, they're probably like, we don't have mom right now, we don't have dad, and yeah, it's probably just really fucked, you know. And they're pretty young too. Like, even though like the youngest one is like, I think like, was it 5 years old? You still have some general understanding, like, hey, like, why are my parents not around, right? So.
Did the defendant say whether anyone else was in their home other than the defendant, her husband, Eric Richins, and their 3 young children?
No, she stated no one else was in the home.
They interviewed a witness and he had no drug use, occasional THC, gummy.
Turning now to the defendant's statements regarding whether she performed CPR on her husband, okay?
Okay.
Uh-oh. That was a CPR thing.
Did the defendant tell investigators when they arrived at her home shortly after she called 911 whether or not she performed CPR on Eric Richins?
Yeah, she reported that she did.
Oof. Remember, with Murdoch said that he tried to attempt to like check the bodies, the pulses and stuff like that. But then when law enforcement arrived, they were bewildered that he didn't have any blood on him, on his hands really, on his shirt, on his shoes or anything like that, right? And then remember with Sarah Boone, when Sarah Boone called 911 because she found her husband in the suitcase, they were like, hey, like, try doing CPR. And you can tell that, like, in the voice, she sounded like she was so resistant. Like, she was like, this guy already dead. I don't need to do CPR. But I think that, like, after, like, the second time when the 911 operator was, like, trying to convince her, like, oh, you know, try CPR or something, she's like, oh, my God, he gurgled. Oh, and I think that's fake, too, by the way. But, yeah. I guess they're going to try to say that, like, hey, she didn't even attempt CPR.
I'm going to refer to someone now as defendant's best friend. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes.
What, if anything, did the defendant tell her best friend regarding whether she performed CPR on Eric Richins?
Investigators found text messages between the defendant and her best friend that was her explanation to her friend that she conducted CPR on Eric prior to EMS arrival.
And do those text messages read, I pumped so damn hard, so hard, screaming at him to come back to life?
Yes.
You testified earlier, Detective, that EMS responded. Have you interviewed the first EMS responder?
Yes, I have.
I'm sorry. It's at 1.5. I guess we'll just slow it down just to watch her reactions. I don't know if you guys are like interested in watching people's reactions.
I pumped so damn hard, so hard, screaming at him to come back to life?
Yes.
I'd be very curious to watch the police interviews. I don't think that's up anywhere, though.
You testified earlier, Detective, that EMS responded. Have you interviewed the first EMS responder?
Yes, I have.
What observations did that EMS responder make?
They told me that when they arrived, they began CPR compressions on Eric, and that upon beginning those compressions, Eric began to foam at the mouth. He stated that that observation indicated that CPR was not likely conducted before he arrived.
I don't know, Tiny Ghost. I don't think so.
Detective, as part of your investigation, did you look into whether Eric Richins used illicit drugs?
Yes.
What did you determine?
Based on the interviews that we conducted with those who knew Eric well, all stated that he did not use illicit drugs other than consuming THC gummies on occasion.
Do those that you spoke to include Eric's 2 best friends that he's known since high school?
Yes, both made the same statement, that they never knew Eric to use any illicit substances other than the THC gummies.
When I reference a hunting...
See, so she can argue. She can be like, well, you know what? I knew my husband the best. His friends, his family, they didn't know him very well. You know, he had secrets behind closed doors. Like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think, what are some things that she's going to try to say to combat this?
Guide in Mexico by the initials TR. Do you know who I'm referring to?
Yes.
Did you speak to this hunting guide?
Other Summit County detectives did, yes.
And what did this hunting guide, if anything, say about Eric Richins using illicit drugs while hunting in Mexico?
The guide told detectives that several of their clients, when they come to Mexico, will seek out someone that can put them in contact with illicit substances while they're down there for their hunt. He stated that Eric Richins was not one of these, that Eric was solely focused on the hunt.
Has the defendant made any statements regarding whether her husband, Eric Richins, used illicit drugs other than THC?
Yes, in several statements made by the defendant throughout the investigation, there have been at least 10 times that
Oh, hey, Chanley Painter. Let's see, do I recognize anyone else back there? I don't, but Chanley Painter, hello.
she has said that Eric does not use illicit substances and did not use illicit substances.
How could she have benefited from him dying? Well, the guy was pretty rich, and they're saying that the possible motive is like, get rid of the husband and then, take over all his like assets and money and stuff like that. That's I think is like the motive that we were thinking.
And just to be clear,
Hey, Betty.
Other than the THC companies, correct.
on the night Eric Richins died, did investigators search the Richins home?
Yes.
Did they find any illicit drugs?
No.
Did they find any paraphernalia or packaging or other evidence of illicit drugs?
No.
Did they find fentanyl anywhere in the home?
Only that which was in Eric's body.
Not looking good, Corey. Not looking good. Hey, Morden, how are you doing today? Kouri Richins, we talked about her a couple weeks ago. She's accused of murdering her husband by giving him a Moscow Mule that had fentanyl in it. After his death, they were saying that she threw a party that very same day, celebrating buying a new house that she was going to flip. And she wrote a book to help her kids grieve. I think she wrote a book with her kids, and she went on a TV interview talking about it. And yeah, a year later, she got arrested for the alleged murder of her husband. So that's where we're at. Chanley is always dressed like she walked out of the Devil Wears Prada. True. She's always so fashionable and stuff. I don't know. I'm too lazy to dress up like that. And like, it's so expensive. I don't know. I like my t-shirts. Although I should go shopping soon though. I feel like my friends see me in the same stuff every time. They're just like, oh my God, can you just wear something else? T-shirts are fun, okay?
We're going to now shift, Detective, from the night of Eric's death to a second drug buy initiated before his death and concluded after his death, okay?
Okay.
What, if anything, did CL tell you about the defendant approaching CL a second time for fentanyl?
CL told us that approximately a week after delivering the first load of fentanyl, the defendant reached out to her again by text or call and said that she wanted some more fentanyl that was stronger than the previous batch.
And in response, what, if anything, did CL do?
CL told us that she again reached out to acquaintance 1 because she had lost the phone number for acquaintance 2. And again,
Wait, I forget. I should know the answer to this because I did read the arrest report. So she reached out to CL twice to get fentanyl. The first one was like 2 weeks or something, and the second one is the one that she, I guess, may have used to possibly poison her husband with. But the first batch, did she just buy it just to make it seem like, oh, hey, this is just gonna be a casual thing, like me purchasing fentanyl from you, or did she already had been accused of maybe trying to poison with fentanyl before, and it was too low of a dose and it didn't work, and that's why she's trying again? Do you guys know that? I feel like I should know the answer to that. They might have brought that up in the arrest report.
again requested from acquaintance 1 that she provide her with the phone number for acquaintance 2. She also made other statements in Facebook messages regarding that request.
In an interview, or detective's interview rather, with
Hi, Patty.
acquaintance 1, did she corroborate that indeed CL reached back out to her asking for acquaintance 2's phone number?
Yes, in the same Facebook Messenger, it showed the 2 different contacts on the 2 different dates.
And does the second Facebook message, was it dated February 25th, 2022 at 9:40 p.m.?
Yes.
And does it read, I need those again, but more, and I don't got a ride, I lost your friend's number?
Correct.
Did CL and acquaintance 1 both say that acquaintance 1 provided CL with acquaintance 2's phone number again?
Yes.
What then, if anything, did CL do with acquaintance 2's phone number the second time?
CL told us that she again contacted acquaintance 2 and arranged again to meet up at the same Maverick gas station in Draper to purchase again 15 to 30, this time blue round pills that she understood to be fentanyl.
On the way to the Draper and Maverick, the second time, when she purchased 15, I'm sorry, did you say 15 to 30? What-
Yes, 15 to 30 pills.
Which she believed to be fentanyl. Did she make any stops along the way?
Yes, CL told us that the second time that she procured fentanyl for the defendant, she did not have a vehicle to drive on that date. She said that she reached out to a friend, acquaintance 3, and asked that he give her a ride to go purchase fentanyl.
Okay, I found the arrest warrant. Let me just read bits and pieces really quick just so I can remind myself and you guys too. Okay, so here's what she said happened. Defendant told law enforcement that when she left her room to go to her child's room, she left her phone plugged in next to her bed, did not take it to her child's room. However, between when the defendant said she went to the child's room and when she called 911, status on her phone shows that it was locked and unlocked multiple times. And there was also movement recorded on the phone. Oh no. In addition, tolls on the defendant's phone shows that messages were sent and received during that time. Those messages were deleted. I think they would recover this. Following an autopsy, they found, 5 times the lethal dose fentanyl in his system. This is her getting the drug from CL. So she did try to get the drugs the first time, but I guess we don't know what happened to it. And then 2 weeks later, she contacted CL again to get more drugs. Okay, because I wonder if she was trying to, maybe she purchased the drugs previously just to like establish a relationship to see if she can get it, or if she had already tried to do this before. But okay, all right, keep watching.
She said that he did pick her up, that they traveled from Heber City to the defendant's home in Francis, where, according to CL, the defendant had told her there was a check waiting under the mat at the defendant's home. She said that she checked under the mat and didn't find a check, and so she knocked on the defendant's door, and the defendant came to the door and wrote her a check from her business, from the defendant's business, for $1,300 for the purchase of the fentanyl. CL told us that afterwards they drove to the America First Credit Union in Heber City, where CL banks, and cashed the check and deposited $300 of it into her account at America First Credit Union. She said that after stopping at the bank and getting the cash, they then drove to the Maverick gas station in Draper and purchased the pills from acquaintance 2.
Did investigators execute a warrant at the America First Credit Union in Heber?
Yes, and that warrant returned a copy of the check written from the defendant's business account in the name of CL, and a receipt that shows that it was cashed and that $300 were deposited into CL's account.
And then CL ultimately, being driven by acquaintance 3, went to the Maverick in Draper and purchased fentanyl a second time from acquaintance 2.
Correct.
What, if anything, does acquaintance 2 say that corroborates CL's testimony?
Acquaintance 2 in his interview stated that he remembered selling fentanyl to a friend of acquaintance 1's on 2 separate occasions at the same Maverick gas station in Draper. He also said...
Sorry, I'm looking up right now so I can answer your question. Who asked that? Oh, where are you? Patty says, what's a detention hearing if she will get bail? That's what it seems like. Yeah, I'm reading this news article right here. So they're going to listen to some witnesses, and then from that, the judge is going to determine whether or not she gets bail. And if that is denied, she has like 30 days to appeal it. Okay. Oh, oof. Sorry, I paused it in a not a really good spot. Hold on. Let me fix this really quick.
Said that he remembered the second time that
Hey,
he sold
Holly.
her the pills that CL was with another person who matched the age and gender of acquaintance 3.
Have you interviewed acquaintance 3?
Yes.
What, if anything, does acquaintance 3 say to corroborate CL's testimony?
Acquaintance 3 corroborated all the same details that CL told us about that day, and in fact showed us text messages on his phone that also corroborated that story.
Detective, I'm going to ask you now some questions about what are commonly known as bug-out bags, okay?
Okay.
Did investigators execute several search warrants on the defendant's home or the family home?
Yes.
Did those warrants identify what are commonly known as bug-out bags?
Yes. There were several duffel bags stored in the garage, along with backpack-sized day packs, and each was identical and labeled for a different member of the Richins family. Those backpacks were seized subject to a warrant and were inventoried and photographed. Inside the bags, detectives located several items that would be useful in an emergency situation, but the most interesting were documents needed for travel for each member of the family. Each bag contained a photocopy of a state-issued ID in the children's case, along with passports for Eric and the defendant, as well as global entry travel cards for both Eric and the defendant.
Hey, Diamond.
Did those bags also contain clothing, toiletries, that kind of thing?
Yes.
Thanks,
Did
Dixie.
detectives know when those bags were packed?
No.
And there was a bag for Eric as well, is that right?
Correct.
I have no further questions for you. Mr. Lazaro, mine. Thank you.
here comes her attorney. Damn, she's tall. Does anyone know any of the attorneys' names yet? I don't. Let's call her Miss Attorney for now.
Detective, it's O'Driscoll, right?
Correct.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm going to follow a little bit the same timeline just so we kind of keep things together. You said you reviewed the body cam that was provided on the night that Eric passed away, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that Kouri made a statement that night to police, a written statement?
Correct.
Okay. And she told them that she had made a drink, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so they were aware of that.
Okay.
Was there anything in that body cam or investigation that talks about them looking for a glass that a drink had been made in?
No.
Okay. But you said that they searched for illicit drugs, correct?
I don't know if they searched for illicit drugs, but they searched the home.
Okay, so they searched the home that night knowing that he had a drink right before he went to bed and made no note that they had recovered glasses, looked for glasses, anything along those lines, correct?
Not to my understanding.
Oh, did they never get the Moscow Mule glass that had the fentanyl in it? That is one tough-looking lady. Yeah, she kind of reminds me of a little bit of a Dami Mommy vibes.
You also testified that when you interviewed CL, she was working on both a personal and, I'm going to say, professional capacity for Kouri, correct?
Correct.
And she was cleaning houses, that she was both cleaning Kouri's personal home and then she would clean homes that were investment properties, correct?
CL told us that she cleaned both homes for Miss Richins' business.
Are they going to try to pin it on CL? Is that where she's going? Like, CL has access to Kouri Richins' home and her properties. Oh my God, where are we going with this?
As well as at another time frame, she cleaned their personal home.
Okay.
So not necessarily at the same time.
But at the time, she was cleaning homes for the business, correct?
Which time are you referring to?
On or about,
I don't know. Maybe we'll have some evidence that they can show to be like, hey, you know, it wasn't Kouri Richins. It was CL who did this. I'm
the
getting ahead of
time leading up
myself.
to or during your investigation, end of the year, end of 2021, beginning of 2022.
At that time, from my understanding, what CL told us, she was cleaning only investment
Welcome
properties
back.
belonging to the Richins Realty Company.
And she was getting compensated for that, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and so the check that you issued the search warrant on for the bank, that was written from Kouri's business account, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so it could very well be that Kouri was paying her for cleaning houses, correct?
Oh, okay,
I don't want to
okay.
speculate, but
It could be,
It's
despite what CL said, correct? Okay. You also testified that CL was progressing through her drug court program and you were optimistic about how she would do in it, correct?
no, I testified that she was optimistic about her own
I'm
personal
sorry if I
recovery.
misstate that.
Oh, did I mishear that? She was only cleaning the investment properties? Oh, I must have misheard. Sorry.
How long were you investigating CL? When did you begin investigating CL?
I don't know an exact date, but the beginning of 2023.
Okay. And were you monitoring what she was doing at that time?
Yes.
Okay. Because you knew she had a boyfriend or this guy in Vegas, some other details about her life, correct?
Initially, at the outset of investigating CL, no, we didn't know all those details.
But over the course of your investigation, you learned them.
Correct.
Did you have CL's phone, correct?
Summit County Sheriff's Office evidence text do.
But you reviewed it?
Yes.
Okay. And you testified about text messages between CL and the defendant on or about this time period you're looking at in February, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did you review any other information prior to that time about contact that CL and the defendant had had?
Okay, so here's what happened. Just to answer someone's question earlier. So this is the arrest affidavit. After receiving the information regarding the toxicology, a search warrant was obtained for Eric and the defendant's residence. During the service of the search warrant, defendant's phone and several computers were seized as evidence. Warrants were obtained for the electronic devices, and the information from the devices were downloaded. When investigators downloaded defendant's phone, several communications between the defendant and CL were located. Okay, so that's how they found out about CL. They were able to get a search warrant, get her phone, her devices, computer, whatever it was, and that's how they found the connection. Eesh.
I'm unsure.
Did you even
But it's
look?
possible that we looked into communications. In this investigation, initial stages, we looked into communications with everybody that the defendant had been communicating with.
Okay. But you don't recall, or you didn't look for a pattern of communication between CL and the defendant.
Hey,
is that correct?
Paul.
You were focused on February?
I guess that depends on what stages of the investigation you're talking about.
I'm talking about any of them. Did you ever look and see if CL and the defendant texted each other about anything on a regular basis?
Yes.
Okay. And how far back did those go?
I'm not sure on exact dates again, but into 2021.
Okay. So for a period of time, because CL is working for the defendant, there's communication, correct?
Correct.
Hey, Mrs. Smith. Sorry, I was reading chat really quick.
And
my
how
bad.
far back did those go?
I'm not sure on exact dates again, but into 2021.
Okay. So for a period of time, because CL is working for the defendant, there's communication, correct?
Correct.
And nowhere in the communication between CL and defendant are there any text messages asking for drugs, correct?
We didn't find any, but there were also gaps in timeframes in the phones when we looked at them.
Now, I want to also talk about, you said you didn't make any promises to CL, is that correct?
Correct. No specific promises.
Okay.
Right. Shush. Shush a bush. Her eyebrows are a little bit, they're a little bit sharp.
You did, however, tell her, let me back up. When was the first interview you had with CL?
I believe it was April 28th or 26th. I believe it was the 26th.
Did you have any contact with her prior to that?
No.
Did anybody from law enforcement have contact with her prior to that?
Not from our office.
You don't know if anyone else talked to her?
I don't.
Okay. Now, part of this came out of a raid or something along the lines that was coordinated with at least ATF and some other agencies, correct?
CL's home was subject to a search warrant based on information that we had gathered during our investigation into CL.
Okay. And that search warrant would essentially contradict that she was doing well and what she was supposed to be doing in drug court, correct?
Oh man, so they don't have text messages. Well, at right now, but they don't have text messages asking CL for drugs. So I guess right now their star witness is going to be CL, and the defense is going to try to destroy CL's image if she ever testifies up there, right? I wonder, oh man, if CL changes her mind and doesn't testify, or changes her story, I wonder if that's just going to completely destroy the state's case.
She was buying drugs, wasn't she?
We didn't know that. We
I
knew
wanna
that she
know
was
what other
associating with
evidence they
people that we
have.
knew had active warrants for drug charges.
Okay. And that would be a violation of drug court conditions, correct?
From my understanding, yes, but I don't know the details of that.
Okay. And as part of that search warrant, were individuals arrested?
CL was arrested, yes.
There were other individuals who were arrested too, correct?
I'm not recalling other individuals that were arrested on the date that the warrant was served.
Okay. Were any drugs recovered at the home?
Yes.
Okay. And you also recovered a firearm from CL's bedroom, correct?
I don't know. It seems like they don't have a text message. I thought these were text messages. Like when I read the arrest affidavit, I assumed that there were communications that they had that was concrete. But now that I'm looking at it, it could also just be CL telling the police, "Oh, this is what happened." I don't know.
Correct.
Correct.
And that would be a violation of her drug court conditions, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, in this first interview in April, you begin the interview. Let me go over here to find the right notes. By explaining to CL essentially how dire of a situation she's in, correct?
I don't have the interview memorized, but I know we talked about that, yes.
Okay, well, you told her that she was on probation to drug court for 4 first-degree felonies, correct?
Correct.
Okay, a violation of that is a potential prison sentence, correct?
It would depend on the prosecutor, but that's potentially true.
Okay, a first-degree felony carries a possible penalty of life in prison, correct?
Hey,
I don't know,
Rational
I'd have to
Aloha.
reference the code.
What's up?
So you told her she was facing problems with that, correct? That
Right.
this would be a violation. So she'd be on the hook for 4 first-degree felonies.
Potentially, yes.
Okay. And you also told her that having the firearm could potentially be a new crime, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then you also told her that the U.S. Attorney's Office was essentially on board with screening drug distribution charges, correct?
Oof. So the defense is going to say, hey, you know what? CL had a bunch of pending charges, but maybe she decided to throw Kouri Richins under the bus just so she can get out of it.
I'm happy to play it if you don't remember.
Play
I
it,
don't
play
remember
it.
specifically.
Do you remember talking to her about potential federal charges?
Yes.
Okay. So she was aware that not only was she facing multiple first-degree felony prison sentences, she was also potentially facing federal charges, correct?
Correct.
And during that initial interview, she tells you that she didn't buy fentanyl, correct?
I don't know if she made that specific statement, but she talked about not knowing anything about fentanyl.
Okay.
Ooh, we're gonna be
That
playing
interview
some
lasted
tapes.
about an hour and 19 minutes, hour and 20 minutes, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that interview ends well, with you telling her, well, several times you tell her to think through all of this.
God, okay, sorry, I just read a psycho. I don't know how she's doing this in heels. Holy shit, I used to wear heels like all the time. Dude, it fucked up my calves. It fucked up my back. I hate fucking heels. I don't know how she wearing heels right now. If I'm wearing heels, it better be on my feet for like 5 minutes at most, and I'm sitting down most of the time. But oh my God, I can't do it no more. I think the question about the text was about the previous messages, so maybe they do have something about the fentanyl. Hi everyone, did she plead not guilty? Hey Justin Rogers, how are you doing today? Well, how's it going?
And let you know if she wants to help, correct?
Yes, I gave her the opportunity to tell us up front whether she was willing to cooperate or if we should just not bother interviewing her anymore.
Okay. But this is after you essentially tell her that she has the potential of doing a considerable amount of state and federal prison time, potentially.
Yes,
Yeah, I
this
don't
is
know
a
if we're
common
there
tactic
yet.
in law enforcement to be able to leverage charges for information.
Okay. In fact, you did in this case leverage charges for information because you told her that you didn't care about first-degree felonies or federal charges. What you cared about was information about Kouri getting drugs, correct?
I told her that I was
Yeah, I don't
interested in
think we're there
information that
yet.
she may know about this case.
Okay. But you told her also that Eric died of a fentanyl overdose, correct?
Correct.
And you told her that you thought that Kouri gave him the drugs, correct?
I did not specifically say that.
You alluded to the fact that you needed information about Kouri getting fentanyl because that's how Eric died, correct?
Hi Ricta.
I don't know if I made that specific statement, but the information that we tried to convey to CL was that we wanted to know the information that she may have regarding Eric's death.
Okay. And you didn't care about any additional charges, all you cared about was that information, correct?
As I said previously, we expressed to her that the information that she may have was more valuable to us than seeking charges against her.
Okay. All right. And then you interview her 2 more times, is that right?
No, there were, I believe, 3 more after our first one.
Okay. Were all of those audio and video recorded?
Yes.
Okay. And those were turned over to the state in this case, correct? The state being the
Correct.
prosecutor's office? Okay. Now, forgive me because with all these interviews, I'm not sure which one comes from which.
Oh, Ricta, I don't. Were you here when we talked about this? This was a couple weeks ago. She is the one that wrote a children's book about grieving, especially about your parents, I believe. And about a year after her husband died, she was arrested for allegedly poisoning his fentanyl, his Moscow Mule with fentanyl, and that's where we're at right now.
You, in subsequent interviews, tell CL that she needs to give good enough details that will ensure that Kouri gets convicted of murder, correct?
I don't know if I made that specific statement, but I did express to her that the information that she gave us needed to be specific enough that we could corroborate it and that it could be presented to a courtroom.
Okay. And that she was, quote, screwed at this point for a minute or a few years if there's not cooperation, correct?
No, I never made such statement.
Okay. Did you ever tell her this was her get-out-of-jail-free card?
No, I did not.
Okay. Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Oh, get the receipts. Get the receipts.
Now, at some point, CL tells you that in one of the interviews that Kouri contacted her between December and February to obtain prescription pills for an investor, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And she doesn't specifically state fentanyl at that point, correct?
Are you referring to CL?
I'm referring to CL.
I don't remember, but I don't believe so.
Okay, yeah, we're getting to the text message of the fentanyl now. You had a fentanyl patch and had a bad reaction to it. I'm never touching fentanyl again. Thank God I did, though. That's all I need. That's all I need is a fentanyl addiction. Wait, a fentanyl patch? Who's she crossing? Detective J.O. Driscoll.
Okay. And in fact, I'm guessing it's something where on the second or third interview, CL says that those first pills, well, it never says those first pills are fentanyl, correct? It never says that Kouri asked for fentanyl, correct?
I'm sorry, could you rephrase the question?
Sorry. In those first, in the first transaction, so
Okay.
initially, CL tells you that there were 3 transactions prior to Eric's death, correct?
Yep.
Yes, and what I have to say here is that
Well, I mean, that
of,
was a yes or no question.
but none of the information that we got from CL was perfectly chronological. We had to piece it together over multiple interviews to come to the conclusion we came to.
Because you told her you needed something more specific to ensure that Kouri gets convicted, right?
No, we told her that we needed more details on what she was talking about and specific dates and times.
Okay. But in the first one, she says there's 3 transactions prior to Eric's death, correct?
At some point in our interview, she told us there were 3 total transactions.
And she says that Kouri was only looking for prescription pills or hydrocodone pills, to be specific, correct?
CL referred to them as Roxy's.
Okay. What do you know Roxy's to be?
They can be different things in the drug world. They can either be counterfeit
Roxycodeine?
pills that are meant to look like a prescription pill, or they can be actual prescription pills, but generally they're known to be opiate-based
No, it's not the prosecutor. This is Kouri Richins, the defendant's attorney, defense attorney.
drugs, whether illicit or pharmaceutical.
Okay, so something along the lines of hydrocodone or Oxycontin or something along those lines, correct?
It could be, yes.
Okay. And she specifically says that she was looking for $900 worth of fentanyl pills, correct?
I don't know if initially, but she did make the statement of $900 at one point in one of our interviews.
Okay. And she says that Kouri told her to leave the pills at an outdoor fire pit at the Midway house where there was cash, correct?
I don't know if she made that exact statement, but yes, she told us that at some point in part of the exchange that she was instructed to leave pills in an outdoor fire pit in a house in Midway.
Okay. And in fact, you sat there with her in this interview and did house searches, correct? Trying to figure out which house this was.
Yes.
Okay. Because she couldn't really tell you which house it was, correct?
She couldn't give us an address, but she was confident that she could find it if she could drive there.
Oh, Morticia. I love Morticia. Any updates? I haven't heard any updates. I don't think so. I haven't seen for anything either. I've been off the internet for a little bit, but I don't know if you guys have any updates. Let me know. The only thing that I was looking at the time was I was Googling around and I found there was like a Reddit, and that's how I found those videos. But yeah, nothing. I haven't heard anything else about it. Nothing yet. Usually I kind of keep my eyes on Law and Crime and Court TV. Yeah, it was made all my muscles cramped up. Ooh, painful, chronic pain. Oof.
Okay. And did you take her for a drive there?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever do any follow-up investigation on whether or not that house ever sold?
Yes.
Okay. And you know that that house sold sometime in January of 2022, correct?
From what I understand, yes.
Okay. So Ms. Richins no longer owned that home or occupied that home or had access to that home in February, correct?
I don't know.
Well, the house was owned by somebody else, right?
Again, I don't know.
Well, you said it closed in January of 2022.
From the information that I was told from other people, other investigators that had looked into that, I was told that Ms. Richins owned the house at some point and that it sold at some point. I don't know dates exactly. or
Okay, don't you
times.
think that date would be important if CL's telling you that she had access to the home and was there in February?
Possibly.
That might be a good fact to know. Okay. CL then does subsequent interviews, correct?
Yes, we had multiple interviews with her.
Okay. And
Hey, Chopper Lily. Yeah, possibly. Hi, Sarah.
after being told that she needs to be more specific, as your words are, correct? She now says that it was specifically fentanyl that Kouri asked for, correct?
Correct.
And that she didn't actually take the pills to that house in Midway. It was a hand-to-hand transaction, correct?
Like I said, she went back and forth on her memory on which instances referred to which transactions, and ultimately she told us that she was sure that the first transaction of fentanyl was a hand-to-hand transaction in her driveway.
Okay. And was what's been referred to as acquaintance 3, was that in regard to that transaction?
No,
Okay.
was the second transaction.
Were you able to corroborate, was anyone with her that could corroborate that she saw CL hand Kouri drugs?
Not that I know of.
And then she states that now there was a third transaction that occurred after Eric's death, correct?
She didn't make the statement that it was after Eric's death, but she told us there were 3 total transactions.
So the information contained in the state's amended information, you don't know where that came from?
Which information are you
That
referring
she purchased drugs after Eric's death?
to? Yes, I do know where it came from.
Okay. And you're saying CL did not sell drugs to Kouri after Eric's death?
CL could not remember specific dates and did not make mention that the transaction happened after Eric's death. But when presented with digital evidence from other witnesses, she confirmed that that was most likely correct.
Okay. So she
That's what what I heard, Trapper Lily. I heard it was a lot cheaper, so they cut like instead of getting like heroin or something like that, they just cut it with like fentanyl and stuff.
Disagreed with your scenario of events, correct?
No, in fact, several times during our interview, she told us that as we presented her more information, it helped her remember more.
Okay. So as you're telling her to be more specific, you're providing her with information that you're gaining in the case, and she's saying, now I remember. Accurate?
Yes.
All right. You also testified that you interviewed two of Eric's best friends, right?
Yes.
And during one of those interviews,
Man, she's a scary cross-examiner.
so I'm going to go back to CL for just a second. On this transaction that you allege that this check was used for, or the state alleges this check was used for, you testified that she picked up the check that was written on Kouri's business account and cashed it, right?
Correct.
And drove to the Maverick and purchased fentanyl.
She didn't drive, but she was
Someone
driving.
drove her, okay?
Yes.
And the person with her corroborates that.
Correct.
And that third witness never saw CL give those drugs to Kouri, correct? Acquaintance 3 never saw that?
Acquaintance 3 didn't tell us that he ever saw that, no.
Okay. In fact, there's no independent witness to corroborate that CL gave Ms. Kouri those drugs, correct?
No eyewitnesses that we have identified, but the investigation is ongoing.
And CL is currently out of custody, right?
Depends on your definition of custody, but she's not incarcerated, no.
Not incarcerated, just on, I think, ankle monitor and not to leave the county, right?
Correct.
But following your interviews with her, she was released from jail.
Not immediately, no. She worked with the prosecutor in the other county where her drug court is and came to a resolution as to those charges against her. And part of that was being released on ankle monitor.
Okay, so in exchange for the testimony, or not testimony, in exchange for the information that she provided to you, and a deal was worked out where she was placed, essentially released from jail on the order to show cause, correct?
I don't know the specifics of what went on between the prosecutor and CL,
Okay.
but subsequent to our interviews, we reached out to the prosecutor's office and let them know that she was being cooperative. After that, I was not involved in any decisions regarding her release.
Okay, because that's up to the judge and whatnot. But you did communicate that to prosecutors?
Yes.
That she gave you the information you needed?
That she was being cooperative with our investigation, yes.
All right, I want to turn now to your interview, and I'm going to use initials. Are you okay with that? Okay. You had an interview with one of Eric's friends. His initials are JS. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. That interview occurred about April 20th. Is that correct?
That seems right. I don't know a specific date, but
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. This case might depend on how well CL does on the stand. If this goes to trial, how well she does on the stand and how well she does on cross-examination, if she's consistent or if she's going to buckle under pressure.
And during that interview, he discussed, or you discussed with him, that he and another individual were essentially Eric's best friends, correct?
Ms. Lozera, my apologies.
Yes.
April 20th of which year?
Oh, 2023.
Three.
I apologize.
Thank you.
At any point during that interview, did JS mention that Eric had said that at any point during he and Kouri's marriage, he was concerned that Kouri was attempting to poison him?
I don't recall, but I don't think so.
In fact, you present him essentially 3 scenarios of what could have happened to Eric, correct? That he potentially did it to himself knowingly, that someone else did it to him, or that it was accidental, right? And you specifically ask him if he thinks Kouri would have done it, and he says, no, in my gut, I don't believe so, correct?
I don't know if that was a direct quote, but yes, he said that he didn't believe that she would have done it.
And he also states during that interview that at the time of his death, Eric and Kouri's marriage was in a really good place.
Yes.
Correct? Now, he also details or talks about a falling out that he and Eric had over the course of their friendship, correct?
Yes, that sounds familiar.
And that Eric and his other friend that he refers to in this interview actually had a falling out right before Eric passed away, correct?
Yes.
You also talk about, or he talks about the fact that, you know, all 3 of them at different times had marital problems that they had helped each other through, correct?
JS told me that he and Eric and their other friend would confide in each other about their marriages and would share information. And that was how he had the insight that he had into Eric's life.
He also talks about that Eric changed or created these trust documents, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And his understanding, based on what he said that Eric told him, was because Eric was pissed or upset about a relationship that Kouri had had, correct? Or he thought she had.
I don't remember the specifics of that part of the interview, but I do remember that JS was aware that Eric had made the trust.
And he doesn't specifically say anywhere in that interview
Kouri Richins is accused of poisoning her husband with fentanyl.
that the trust was made because he was mad about this home equity loan, correct?
JS expressed to us that he understood that the reason that Eric created the trust was to ensure his son's well-being if anything were to happen to him.
And he also expresses to you that because you asked him why it wasn't changed back, or because the sister was made the trustee, correct?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the
The
question.
sister, so in those trust documents, sorry, that was a terrible question. In those trust documents, the sister was made the trustee, correct?
From what I understand, yes.
And you asked JS specifically,
Yep. She wrote a children's book about grief. A year plus after her husband passed away, she was arrested.
or somewhere along the lines of,
Yeah, he did
if they were
die.
doing so well, why would he have not changed that back?
Yes.
Okay. And he tells you that it was his way.
In the arrest affidavit, the medical examiner found levels of fentanyl in Eric's system was approximately 5 times the lethal dose. The medical examiner stated the fentanyl in Eric's system was illicit fentanyl and not medical grade fentanyl. It's also the opinion of the medical examiner that after evaluating Eric's gastric fluid contents, the fentanyl in Eric's body was ingested orally.
Of ensuring that even if they were doing well at the time, if there was a divorce, he would get the last word in it, right?
I remember him using that phrase, getting the last word, yes.
All right.
No, we're not in trial yet. This is just a detention hearing. Judge is going to listen to both sides and then determine whether or not she's going to get bail, I believe.
Now, you also testified
Based on
today
us
about
researching the
this
internet.
hunt that took place down in Mexico, right? Correct? And this hunt was February of 2022, correct?
I don't think she's entered a plea yet.
I don't know specific dates, but I'm aware that Eric was
I don't
on
know,
a
I
hunt
don't
in
think
Mexico
so.
shortly before his death.
I don't
And
think we're there yet.
JS tells you that he was really upset, actually leading in the days right before he passed away about what had happened with this hunt, right?
Yes.
And he was upset that they had paid an outfitter for a number of permits that they believe the outfitter had procured, correct?
Yes, from what I'm recalling, he was upset about the outfitter or the guide had not gotten enough permits for the amount of animals that they ended up taking, and it caused some concerns over legal requirements of tagging animals.
Okay. And getting the cape or anything else, correct?
Correct.
And this is the same, is this outfitter the person that you investigated? Or that you interviewed?
Someone associated with that hunt and that outfit, yes. I'm not sure the exact association, but a contact for that outfitter.
Okay. So that outfitter was aware that they had made some serious problems for Eric with regard to how many animals they took in Mexico, correct?
According to JS, yes.
And in your subsequent investigation, you know that Eric had had some heated conversations actually the night before he passed, or the night that he passed away, with that outfitter, correct?
We received information about that, yeah.
Okay. In fact, he was searching how far it was to drive from Scottsdale down there, correct?
Correct.
The Delphi case, whatever happened to the Delphi case, they arrested someone, we just haven't heard anything else. Is the Delphi case the one with 2 girls that went missing? And it was like caught on Snapchat or something? It was by a bridge near the woods? Or am I thinking of something else?
Well, his phone showed that search.
Okay. And JS also told you that he
I might be
had
thinking of something
information
else.
or believed that this outfitter was somehow connected to the cartel, correct?
I don't recall. That sounds
Wait, hold on a second. We're going to blame the cartel for everything now?
familiar, but I don't recall if those were the words that he used.
But essentially, he was
He
made
made
reference.
JS made a statement about the cartel when he was talking about Eric and that hunt, yes.
Counsel, would you approach for a minute?
Is that everyone's go-to? You know what? At the end of the day, fucking cartel, man. Hold on a second. Let's see. Was that the end of that one? Let's see. Court TV. We got the PI. Oh, PI details digital evidence.
Occurring in a home.
Okay. All right. Court TV. Let me pull this one up. Actually, I'm going to use the bathroom real quick. Is that cool with you guys?
Amount of time.
Use the bathroom really quick. Okay. We're actually only behind by 5 minutes. So we'll watch it in real time afterwards. And yeah, let me just use the restroom really quick. You guys should get up, use the restroom. You know, don't be getting no UTIs. Okay. UTIs suck. Drink lots of water. I'll be right back. Hi, Joe. How are you doing today? Hello. Hello. And then we'll talk with the chat and then we'll listen to this. It was Joe. I know. Ew. Joe. The car's still sitting there. We didn't do shit. Her attorney seems very good. Hi, Kanani. The state has a mountain to climb here. Yeah, I wonder what other concrete evidence they have. Yeah, it might be tough. Might be tough. We'll see. You find it strange how they found a guy who they think did it, nothing else was heard. You would think they would want to hurry after 6 years. Wait, so you're right? Okay. Yeah, I watched some true crime channels cover it. I think maybe it was like That Chapter or Coffee House Crime. I don't remember. Maybe it was even Mr. Ballin. You think she's guilty? I mean, it looking pretty bad, but when it goes to trial, yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how reliable and consistent CL is. She might go up there and completely bomb, and we might just be like, okay, you know what? Never mind. Coffee house crime annoys me. Don't come for me. Don't worry about it. You're entitled to your own opinion. Why don't you like Coffee House Crime? I know, I feel bad. People always make fun of his eyebrows, but can't help it, man. Those are his eyebrows. What do you want him to do? That Chapter is one of my favorite. Yeah, I watch, I mean, I don't really watch a lot of true crime channels, but usually if I find one, I just stick with them. But Coffee House Crime, That Chapter, I haven't watched their stuff in a while. Mr. Ballin, I like listening to his like the people found in weird places like stories, or like the cave diving ones, or ooh, so scary. I hate those. Those are the one gives me so much claustrophobic. Ugh. And then yeah, Bose is good too. Is there interrogation? I know. I wish we can watch that. I love watching interrogation footages, like body cams, 911 calls. But yeah, I haven't seen anything. Oh yeah, JCS is good too, of course. Yeah, definitely. Is she gonna take the stand? We're not there. We're not at trial yet, but I mean, if they ain't got much evidence, you know, she might not need to take the stand. I think it'll probably be better if she doesn't take the stand. I feel like every time when you're being accused of something, dude, when you take the stand, sometimes you just get fucking crucified. Okay, you get destroyed. But we'll see. Yeah, we're not at trial yet. We'll see how that goes. Are we still waiting for the Koberger gag order? And whether or not they're gonna allow TVs in the courtroom for trial and stuff? Hi David, how are you doing today? It's risky taking the stand. Yeah, you can get eviscerated by the cross-examination. I saw an interview that the killing of the 4 Idaho students might be cartel related. You know, I'm not like up to date with that stuff. Like, I had no idea that they were starting to blame like drug dealers, cartel for the Idaho student murders. But I did watch a video about that. It was lawyer, you know. And I don't know, from listening to him, it seems like it's all just kind of like gossip shit, but I don't know. I don't know much about it. I have no comment. I would just refer to lawyer, you know, he made a video about it. We spoke about the elevator girl. Yeah, that video still creeps me out. That chapter awesome New York comedian guy with the red hair, white Steven guy. I can't remember his name though. Oh, I have no idea who that is. Or I don't think I do. All right, so next we're gonna listen to the PI details digital evidence. How come Law and Crime is not streaming this, or are they? Let's see, Law and Crime. Let's see what they're up to. I think Law and Crime is covering the Parkland stuff, right? Double murder trial. Oh, I didn't hear about this. There's the Parkland one. What's the double murder trial? Wait, what? Faces trial for allegedly murdering 2 of his friends? Wait, what? Okay, I have to read about this. Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. Man, you like don't go on the internet for a couple of days, you know, and like boom. So much going on. I try to stay on top of it by reading the Law and Crime stuff, but there's so much depraved shit that just I don't know. It's just so much shit on there. Like you go on there and all you see is like really like sad shit, and I don't know, man. And sometimes I read it out of curiosity, and I feel like it just really like I don't know. Be careful when you're on Law and Crime scrolling through. It's like some really sad stuff that happens, and it's just like I don't know. Ugh. The UFO sighting. I don't know. I haven't looked at that. I don't know. Whenever I see like stuff like that, I'm just like, ignore. True Crime Loser. I don't know if I've heard of that before. There's this new channel that's been popping up, Euphoria, that I've been liking. Euphoria, and what's the other one? There's this one that like, but they don't show their face though. It's like a voiceover. Stephanie Harlow did a great video on the Delphi murders. Someone came out as a whistleblower. I mean, UFO sounds really cool, but I don't know. I always think people are like bonkers, but I don't know. I haven't looked into that stuff yet. Maybe sometime soon. Okay, let's listen to this guy right here. Mr. P.I. Internet search records on Kouri Richins' phones. Oh no! Are we gonna have a Letitia Stout scenario? Hold on a second. Let me see. Maybe it's not that bad. Oh no. I mean, these are some very interesting stuff. Okay. Internet search records on Kouri Richins' phone include phrases such as, can cops force you to do a lie detector test? Luxury prisons for the rich in America? Death certificate says pending. Will life insurance still get paid? If someone is poisoned, what does it go down on the death certificate as? Ah! Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, is she going to end up self-stitching herself? How to properly delete information from an iPhone remotely? Yikes. Okay, well, let's listen. Not good, Kouri. Not good. All right, guys, just a reminder. We are listening to Kouri Richins' hearing. It's not a trial, but it's a hearing. Initially, first person that went was a detective, and I guess the PI is the second person that's going up there. And, yeah, I don't know. Let's see how this goes.
What's your name and spell your last name?
Sure, it's Chris Kotridemus. Last name is Kotrod.
All right, he speaks fast, so we'll do 1.25. Unless he's teasing me. He might be teasing me.
Dimos.
Thank you. Mr. Kotridemus, how are you employed at this point in time?
I own a private investigation firm,
What's that called?
M20 Solutions,
How long have you been the owner of that firm?
about 7 months.
What did you do prior to owning that business?
I was a police officer for over 23 years.
And where did you work as a police officer?
I started my career in Raleigh, North Carolina. I moved to Utah and took a position with Salt Lake City Police Department, where I worked on the homicide unit there. In 2017, I took a position with the Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office on the homicide team there, and until my retirement in December of 2022.
Do you have any specialized education, training, or experience with forensic digital evidence?
I do, yes.
Could you briefly explain what that is?
Sure. So I have, I've attended several formal courses, one being a Cellbrite Certified Operator course, Cellbrite Certified Physical Analyzer course. I've also...
The Sarah Boone one? I think it's going to get pushed, in my opinion. I don't know. If she's having trouble and issues communicating with her lawyer, I mean, they might push it. It's supposed to happen in like a month, but we'll see. I believe there's something else out there. I mean, the universe is massive, but I doubt anyone has ever visited us yet. Every so-called sighting is always some blurry ass video or photo. Have you heard of the Fermi paradox? Kurzgesagt did a pretty decent job explaining it. Check it out sometimes. Or we can watch it on stream, when I stream on Twitch or something.
Attended a 40-hour cell phone analysis and mapping course through ZX. After using those skills for several years, I also attended a ZX 40-hour subject matter expert course on the same subject, cell phone, social media mapping, those types of things. My experience related to my testimony on those courses is I've worked either directly or indirectly on more than 200 homicides and major crimes. I've inspected and evaluated thousands of phone and social media records and phone downloads.
Thank you. What is your role in the case that brings you to court today?
I was retained by the Summit County Attorney's Office to evaluate digital evidence in this case.
And what evidence have you reviewed?
I reviewed several cell phone downloads or extractions. I reviewed and analyzed call detail records and some social media records.
I'm sorry, the audio is like making some weird snap noises. Ugh.
Things like that.
Can you tell us what the difference between carrier records and call data records are?
Yeah, so a call data record or a cell download is kind of what it's commonly called, is information that is extracted or downloaded from a phone onto some type of media, external drive, things like that. And it does so into a reader in which you're able to analyze the data that's contained within a device. That's a cell phone extraction or download. A carrier record or a call detail record is the regular record that you would have. It's the usage of the phone through your carrier. So it records the date and times of your calls, your texts, your data usage for a given period of time. And it can include location information, such as like tower data.
Can there be discrepancies between carrier records and the data that's extracted from a device?
Yes.
What would cause that?
Usually, sometimes it's because it just wasn't captured in the phone download due to a software limitation, but typically where we see it is through deletion of information on the device that does not match the carrier records that we receive from the phone company.
Man, anyone who dates this guy, don't you dare ever cheat on them. They're going to find out everything. got you.
Did you analyze forensic extractions of an iPhone
Kidding. Don't cheat in general. It's bad. Okay.
belonging to the defendant that was seized April 13th of 2022?
I did.
Does it contain digital information pertaining to the night of March 3rd and into the morning of March 4th, 2022?
It does.
What does that phone show? Well, let me ask it this way. What is the last time that phone is used on March 3rd of 2022?
The last activity reported on the defendant's phone is an activity device movement at 22:33 hours or 10:33 p.m. on March 3rd.
When was the next time that phone
Hey, Cassie. They're saying that her bond got denied. And this article I just read too.
was used?
So I guess right now this is the judge. He's listening. This is like a detention hearing, listens to the evidence, and then based on that, he determines whether or not bond is going to be denied. And then it said that Richins can still appeal that within 30 days if he wants to. Which, I mean, you should, right? Why not?
The phone was inactive and then ultimately unlocked at 3:07 a.m. on March 4th, 2022.
Is she Mormon? I have no
Was there
idea.
anything that happened between those two timeframes?
On that device?
On
No.
that device?
No.
Does the extraction of that phone indicate if it was moved in that time frame?
It does.
And how are you able to tell that?
Through the download, in this case we use Cellbrite for the download. In the download, it gives an activity, like a connected device activity movement. Usually that's an indicator of another connected device, such as a tablet or a smartwatch or something of that nature. Those
And-
two, yeah, I'm sorry, those two devices will communicate with each other and report potential movement of the phone through that application.
Was there anything significant that occurred at 3:22 hours on March 4th?
At 3:22, yes, a 911 call was made.
So between the time that the phone
Oh, no. So again, on the arrest affidavit, when they talked to Kouri Richins, she said that she did not have her phone with her, that she left the phone at her bed when she went to go to her kids' room to go check up on them. And like, I think she like said that they had a nightmare, so she stayed with them. However, I guess this guy over here was able to find out like, no, that's a lie. You had your phone with you. The phone was locked, unlocked, and maybe you were texting. Did he say that they were texting? We'll get to that. But oh, this is the guy right here.
is used at 3:07 that morning and 3:22, is there any activity that could be seen from the download?
There is.
What is that?
At 3:07, the device is unlocked. At 3:08 a.m., the device reports some type of movement, either the
Oh, there is proof for that? I was wondering if there was proof that there was a first time. Because I know that oh, wait, sorry. There's proof she purchased fentanyl 2 times. The first attempt failed. See, that's the part that I want to know. Did she attempt to do this before and it failed? Or did she just buy it to build rapport with the drug dealer and see if she can like get her hands on it?
device itself or a connected device is moving.
What does
At
LDS stand for?
3:12, the phone was unlocked. At 3:16, the phone was unlocked again. At 3:19, the phone was unlocked again, potentially twice. There was movement again at 3:21, and then at 3:22, the 911 call was made.
Oh, no.
So roughly a time frame of 15 minutes between the first time that phone is used and the time that a 911 call is placed.
Correct.
Wait, when she was making, hold on, the internet searches. The internet searches must have happened after the cops came, right?
The attached device that's recording movement, could that be an Apple Watch?
It could be.
Latter-day Saint.
Do you have any way of telling from the extraction you examined what that device was that was recording that movement?
So far in the extraction, I have not been able to. I may at some point, but at this point, no.
And as far as the movement, what kind of movement is this? Is it significant?
It is significant, I think, for it occurring in a home.
And can you explain what that movement was?
Correct. So at 3:08, there's movement on the phone, or on a device is connected to that phone is moving. And it moves, I don't remember the exact amount of time, but I believe it's several feet. I do know that at some point, there was 2 movements right before the 911 call, and they're both significant. One was about 240 feet, it's like 74 meters and change. And the other one was about 130 feet. And this is right before the 911 call.
Why was she moving around so much, you think?
As you were analyzing the forensic data from that extraction, were you able to observe any noticeable patterns of deletion from that phone?
It appears that there is some deletion in that device.
Okay. And can you describe what is being deleted in that phone?
It looks like there's gaps in things like web history, web searches, particularly the call log. When a person makes or receives a call or a text, those are recorded in the call log of the phone. And there are there's messaging that is included in the carrier report, the call detail record, that I would expect to see also logged within the device that are not in the device.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so you're seeing those in the carrier records, but not on the device themselves.
Correct. For instance, there's multiple calls and texts to an individual. I would expect to also see that retained in the call log of the device itself. And in a lot of instances, particularly in the weeks prior to the death, there's a lot of that is missing.
And from the carrier records, are you able to tell who those calls were going to?
Yes,
Who was that?
there were several people. But as it relates to this case, one that stood out was a witness that has been mentioned as CL.
In those carrier records, were there logs of calls made to CL in January of 2022?
I don't recall January.
Did you analyze a forensic extraction of a second iPhone belonging to the defendant that was seized in May of 2023?
Yes.
When did activity begin on that phone?
The activity on that phone started shortly after her original phone was seized in April of 2022.
See, Justin, what he's saying is that she was clearing some stuff, but they were able to extract and show that things were deleted.
Were you able to observe internet searches on that phone?
Yes.
And did you create a PowerPoint of some of those searches?
Oh, no.
And just for the court and counsel's reference, this is docket item 141. Were you able to tell when those searches were done?
Yes.
How did you do that?
There is a date and time stamp of the history, the web history. So, for instance, if you visit a website and you click through it using your device, it will report what date and time that you did that connected to that website.
I see. On April 18th of 2022,
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see the PowerPoint. Oh, no.
did the phone access an internet site of an article entitled "What Happens to Deleted Messages"?
Yes.
On May 10th of 2022, did that phone access a site for an article entitled "How Do Police and Forensic Analysts Recover Deleted Data from Phones"?
Yes.
So once she got her answer, did she stop searching things on the internet?
Did that phone was a query placed in that phone, quote, "Can cops, period, uncover deleted, period, messages, iPhone," close quote?
Yes.
Oh, no, not the periods. Oh, no, we're getting Letitia's down. Remember Letitia's dog kept hitting period instead of space bar? I wonder if it's an Android thing, because I do that too. Oh, no.
Did that phone search, quote, "How to, period, permanently delete information from an iPhone remotely," close quote?
Yes.
Did that phone search, quote, "Luxury prisons for the rich in America"?
It,
Did that phone search, quote, "If someone is poisoned, what does it go down on the death certificate as," close quote?
yes.
Oh boy, how can you argue your way out of this? Excuse me, Your Honor. I'm a YouTube true crime enthusiast. You know, these are things that I just like to know because I like to research other cases. I don't know. She could just be like, she's really into true crime and she was very curious.
Were you able to tell when those things were searched?
The search themselves, there was no date and time reported for the individual search. However, I found corresponding websites to those searches that did have the dates and times in the web history.
And was there a certain time frame that these searches were made?
They were.
Can you describe what that was?
It was typically shortly after her original phone was seized. So from middle of April of 2022 through, memory serves me right, about August of 2022 off and on.
Thank you. Now, you mentioned your training with cell phone mapping using cell tower data.
Yes.
Have you employed that in your review of the evidence in this case?
I have.
And specifically, can you explain just briefly how cell phone mapping is done using cell tower data?
Sure. Sorry, I looked that way. I'm used to talking to a jury.
I'm getting my notes right now.
So cell mapping is accomplished by
Stop giving them ideas. Yeah, they're totally watching my stream right now.
taking call detail records that contain tower location in them and putting them into a piece of software that will visually show you a location on a map of which tower that device was accessing when it made or received a call or a text. So it takes lines of data and creates a map out of it.
Okay. And is that plotted on like a program like Google Earth?
It is.
Okay. And are you able to tell any directionality from when a phone connects to a tower? Is there any directionality to that where you can tell approximately where that phone is transmitting from?
Yes, yeah. So the cell phone, the companies report which tower the device is utilizing and which sector. There's an estimated range to that, which is a bit ambiguous on the range. However, it will tell us at least what side of the tower that the device was located when it made or received a call or text.
How many sectors are there on each cell tower?
Typically 3.
Okay. And so if a phone is connecting to a tower through a certain sector, can you tell that it's someplace where that sector is for lack of a better word, broadcasting or collecting signals?
Yeah, so we can determine the orientation of the device to certain locations.
I see.
Yeah.
Did you map data from CL's phone extraction?
I did.
Were you able to track that phone's movements on February 11th of 2022?
Yes,
At any time was it at or near a Maverick gas station in Draper, Utah?
it is.
And are you aware of the significance of that location in this investigation?
I am.
And what is that?
This is the location that CL had indicated to detectives that she bought drugs on behalf of the defendant.
Do you
Oh,
recall approximately what time of day that was it was there?
She shows up on that tower near that Maverick at,
yeah. See, if they can get evidence, concrete evidence that matches with CL's story, it'll help CL more when she goes on the witness stand. Like I said, I don't know how she's gonna do when she goes on the witness stand. Like, she might get completely destroyed, but okay.
about 6:49 p.m. and remains there until about 8 p.m. on February 11th, 2022.
Does that phone make any calls or send any texts while at that location?
It did.
And to anyone notable to this investigation?
Yes, 2 people.
Who was that?
One would be to another acquaintance in which CL indicated she had purchased the drugs from, and CL was also texting with the defendant.
Well, she was at a gas station in Draper purchasing narcotics.
Correct.
On that day, did the phone go to a did the phone go to a location in Heber City?
It did.
Was the mapping that you did of CL's phone consistent with the account that CL gave to law enforcement regarding that first drug purchase?
Yes.
Were you able to track CL's phone movements on March 9th of 2022?
Yes,
Was the phone ever in Francis, Utah on that day?
it was.
Was it ever at or near the same Maverick in Draper, Utah?
It was.
Were there any communications from the phone at that time while it was at the Maverick?
Yes, at the Maverick, yes.
Did it communicate with any phone belonging to a person relevant to this investigation?
It did.
Who was that?
At the Maverick, it communicated with, I guess, corroborating witnesses to the drug purchase on the 9th. When the device was utilizing a tower in Francis, it was about midday on March 9th, and CL's phone was in communication with the defendant's phone.
Thank you. While she was in Francis, Utah.
Correct.
Did the phone go to a location in Midway, Utah on or about that day?
Yes.
Are the movements that you tracked for CL's cell phone on March 9th of 2022 consistent with the information she gave to law enforcement in this investigation?
Yes.
Finally, I want to speak with you briefly about Mr. Eric Richins' phone. Did you analyze a forensic extraction of his phone?
I did.
When was
Okay, this is the
last
husband's
use,
phone?
recorded from Eric's phone?
From memory, I believe it was about 9:58 p.m. on March 3rd, 2022.
And are the times that are on the extraction from that are populated in the Celebrate download, are those, what time zone are those given in?
Typically, the extraction is provided in UTC 0.
Okay.
Yes.
And so do you have to, so can you just briefly explain what UTC 0 is?
Right, so UTC 0 is Greenwich Mean Time. It's an effort by people that utilize data and do data investigations to try and keep everybody on the same time zone. Utah is in UTC -7 during standard daylight time, and we are in -6 in daylight savings time. So from November In this case, from November of 2022 to about March 13th.
I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. I'm sorry. I chugged that protein shake. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Oh, okay. No UTI. No UTI. I try to drink a lot of liquids. Yeah. I got like super dry skin. I'm all crusty. My feet, my lips, my scalp is itching right now. I have a lot of issues. Okay, so 73% of you guys have heard of Kouri Richins. 26% have not heard of Kouri Richins. Let's do a new poll. Let's see. How bad are these search results? Not bad. Not bad. Really bad. Not sure. I'll do that. Yeesh. All right, new poll.
I'm sorry, November of 2021 to March, I believe it was March 13th.
Oh, also, if anyone's listening on earbuds, I just want to say the left side is louder than the right side. The audio is kind of messed up. Actually, you know what? I think maybe for you guys it's okay because I think I make it on my OBS so that the audio balances out if it's imbalanced.
13th, 2022. Local time in Utah was UTC -7.
Matt Walsh, who's that again?
So if those times are
Familiar.
given on that download as UTC -5, that would be Eastern Standard Time?
Correct. It would be 2 hours ahead of local Utah time.
So to adjust for Mountain Standard Time, you would have to go back 2 hours.
You'd have to subtract 2 hours.
Okay. And that's what gave you, can you repeat that the last time that Eric's phone was used on March 3rd?
Oof.
I
Sorry.
believe it was 9:58 p.m. on March
The
3rd.
juicy one.
I just have one moment, Judge. Thank you, Mr. Kotrodemus. Those are all of my questions at this time. Thanks.
All right. Which defense attorney's coming up? I know there's two of them.
Counsel.
Just possible. Any in this one is that it's specified that
Those are all of my questions.
Okay. Oh, no way. Matt Walsh level bad. He allegedly killed his wife. Looked up how to dismember a... Wait, like that specific? What? I have to look that up. No way. Let me see. Oh, kidney stones. Oof. That's painful. I hope I never get kidney stones. Oh my God.
you testified there are essentially two explanations for why things might be missing. One in a download. One is that it's not captured in the download, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and that can happen.
It can.
Okay. And then the other is whether or not it's been deleted.
Correct.
In this case, all you can say definitively is that it's missing, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Wait, sorry. Matt Walsh? I don't see anything popping up with for Matt Walsh. There's a guy who's a political commentator, Matt Walsh. Did I spell his name wrong? Is this someone else?
Now, with regard to movement, that could be any device that is essentially attached to the phone through an app, correct?
It could be yes.
Okay. And so you can't say, looking at what you analyzed, exactly what device that was, correct?
So far, no.
Okay. And you can't tell where that device was in terms of location, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So it's possible that that could have been a device attached to it from some other location, but the phone's recording it, correct?
It would be unlikely.
But it's possible if it's connected to an app.
It depends on the range.
Okay.
Oh, I did hear about Anna Walsh. Yeah. Okay. Brian Walsh. Okay. Thank you, Neverly.
So it would be impossible outside a certain range.
Okay.
Brian? Did I read it wrong?
And there's a number of different ways to, or different programs, and forgive me, I am not an expert in this, so there's a number of different programs or extractions that can be done on phones, correct? Or different ways to do them?
Correct.
Okay. Did you perform an independent extraction on this phone?
I did not.
Okay, or on any of the phones you've talked about today?
No.
Okay. Did you analyze any data prior to January of 2022 on either CL's phone?
Wait, this is really bad. Oh my God. Jeez. He's awaiting trial right now? 4:55 a.m. All in the a.m. All the way to the p.m. Okay. How long before a body starts to smell? How to stop a body from decomposing? How to embalm a body? 10 ways to dispose of a body if you really need to. Oh my God, what a moron. Isn't this guy like a doctor or something like that? Or some sort of like prestigious career? Or no, was he a dentist? What was he again? What was his line of work? How long for someone to be missing to inherit? Oh no! Can you throw away body parts? What does formaldehyde do? How long does DNA last? Can identification be made on partial remains? Dismemberment and the best way to dispose of a body. How to clean blood from wooden floor. Jesus. Luminol to detect blood. What happens when you put body parts in ammonia? Is it better to throw a crime scene clothes away or wash them? What? Oh, he's an art thief? Why did I think that he was a doctor? Oh, you know what? I think I'm thinking of a different guy. I think I'm thinking of a different guy. There was a guy who murdered his wife because she was planning on leaving him. And I think he was a dentist. I think. Jesus. This guy's an art dealer. Oh no. Hacksaw, best tool to dismember. Can you be charged with murder without a body? Can you identify a body with broken teeth? What happens to hair on dead body? What is the red decomposition? Did they find her body? Can baking soda make a body smell good? Oh my God. Okay, so this guy's awaiting trial. Jeez. What a moron. What is he going to say? Oh, I was just making those search results because, I was just very curious. I didn't do anything to my wife. What? She's missing? Never found her? Whoa, search history get me arrested. Emily D. Baker popped up in my feed a couple days ago, and she was covering the Chat GPT thing. Did you guys hear about that? I heard about it a couple weeks before, and it's kind of wild. Some lawyer got in trouble in Texas for, I don't know if it was like filing a motion or something, but like he submitted something and his assistant, or I don't know, whoever wrote the paper used Chat GPT, and Chat GPT cited a bunch of like fake ass cases. And the judge was like, what the heck is this? Like, what is going on? And then like confronted the lawyers, and they were like, yeah, we use Chat GPT. And so the guy thought that Chat GPT was like a search engine, right? Honestly, like ChatGPT has been in the news for like quite a while now, and very heavily in the news. I don't know. I feel like the lawyer's bullshitting, but he was like, yeah, I thought it was a search engine. I thought it was legit. My kids told me about it. But the really funny part was when they wrote this thing to the judge, right? Trying to defend themselves. They were like, listen, I thought ChatGPT was telling me the truth because I went to ChatGPT and was like, hey, ChatGPT, are these cases real? And ChatGPT was like, yeah, they're real. I thought it was so funny. But yeah, you guys should definitely go check it out. I don't know. I might read some of the court documents because they're pretty funny. Oh man. Anyways, back to this. Okay, back to this.
Phone, or either phone, or I guess the first phone belonging to Miss Richins.
Sorry, I'm
Or
going to rewind
any-
back a bit.
Did you analyze any data prior to January of 2022 on either CL's phone or either phone, or I guess the first phone belonging to Miss Richins?
I don't believe I did.
Okay. Were you asked to only look at a particular date range?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay. Were you given the date range of interest?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you didn't cross-reference any communication or the frequency of communication between CL and Kouri prior to January of 2022, correct?
Correct.
So it could be that they communicated all the time and you wouldn't have known.
Yes.
So this could have been just a normal course of communication between the two.
Sure. Yes.
Were you made aware of when the search warrant was, or when the first phone was seized?
Yes.
Okay. And were you given a copy of the search warrant?
No.
Okay. Were you made aware that the search warrant included evidence of homicide that they were looking at?
No.
And in that first phone, prior to Eric passing away, were you able to review any search history of the web browser
Of whose device?
on the first device of Ms. Richins?
Of Ms. Reed? Yes. Yes.
Okay. And were there any searches related to fentanyl on that?
Not that I found. There were not many searches available to
And
look at.
okay. No searches related to prisons either?
No, not in that time frame.
Okay. No searches related to deleting messages?
No.
And so all the searches came from the second phone, correct?
The web searches mentioned? Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that was the phone that was seized after the search warrant was issued for the first phone, correct?
That was, yes.
That's the
So
phone
that
she got
was-
as a replacement, right?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
I just want to return to this mapping, or move to this mapping that you discussed.
What? No way. Did you hear about the university professor that asked if my students cheated on their paper? The answer was yes, and he failed them all. What? Where? What university was this?
Did you look at the mapping on the second phone of Ms. Richins?
I did not.
Okay. So the state didn't ask you to compare Ms. Richins' phone to CL's location at any point, correct?
They did.
Okay.
Yes. they
But you
did.
couldn't do it? Or didn't
No.
do it?
The records, the mapping location for those called detail records through Verizon are no longer available
On the second phone?
on either phone.
Okay, so you were able to get them off of CL's phone, but because of Verizon, you weren't able to get them on Ms. Richins' phone?
Correct.
Okay.
Darn it, Verizon. You know what? I made the mistake of switching over from T-Mobile to Verizon. What a huge mistake. Verizon sucks over here. I hate Verizon. And it costs more than T-Mobile. I hope T-Mobile takes me back.
And on that March 9th date, you discussed her being in Francis midday in the Maverick. What time was she at that Maverick?
It was about 3 p.m.
Okay. So after
2 or
she'd
3
been,
p.m.
after she'd been to,
She was
To Francis.
she was in Francis around midday,
okay,
and she was at the Maverick at about 2:33 p.m.
okay. Did she go back to Francis?
She went to Heber.
Okay. And she lives in Heber?
She does.
Okay. I don't think I have any other questions.
Thank you. Mr. Hill, anything further?
No, thank you.
Sweet. Thank you.
Do we get the part where I guess maybe that's going to be uploaded soon. All right, we'll wait, Court TV. We'll patiently wait. Because we looked it up earlier and it says that the judge denied the bond. T-Mobile will forgive you. Verizon's running behind everywhere. Verizon used to be really good, especially when I lived in the East Coast. If you were underground riding the train, you would still have reception. But now it's like, I don't know, T-Mobile is just doing really well. But yeah, I don't know. Verizon is really bad here in LA. And I switched over from, what did I have before? No, I had T-Mobile. Yeah, I don't know. Verizon is just like, ugh, I don't know. They're just having issues. I don't like Verizon. But I think there's someone on the contract that has when you get a phone, you do the monthly payments thing, whatever. So once they're done with their monthly payments, then hopefully we'll switch on over to T-Mobile. We'll see. All right. Let's see. What do we got going on here? Hour 49. Do you guys want to? I was gonna watch the ex NFL stuff, but I think that's gonna take a couple of hours. Let's see, 143. Ooh, it's gonna be very, very long. Yeah, I was gonna watch the ex NFL stuff, but Verizon is good in NorCal. When I lived in NorCal, I think I had T-Mobile. Yeah, I think it was when I came over to LA they switched over. Surely after that surgery stuff, they should just call an end to this trial, send the jury out. It should be done in 15 minutes. They gotta listen to both sides, okay? I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes when you think that everything's concrete and then it goes to trial and then it's like, wait a second. Maybe they're not as guilty as what we thought they were initially. But yeah, I don't know. The Kouri Richins stuff, it's pretty rough. He's a pretty rough one. Your Verizon contract's up this month. You can't wait. Oh, are you switching? What are you going to switch over to? Let's see. Ex-NFL. This is the state. This is the cross-examination. I think you guys were telling me in the ex-NFL trial to watch the ex-girlfriend, right? We'll do that. Oh, hold on a second. She's up on the stand for... How long is she up on the stand for? Not that long? Oh, she's up there for long. You'd make a good juror? I don't know, man. I honestly, me sitting for a very long time, I get really uncomfortable. I pee a lot. I have back pain sometimes. Especially sitting, like, I have to be, like, sit like, in a good setup. If I sit on those benches, I don't know. I'd be, like, so focused on, like, my back pain. I don't know. Might have to take lots of medication or something. You have Ryan Reynolds mobile service? What's that? You want the new iPhone? Let's see. For those of you guys who are telling me to watch the ex-NFL trial, the cross-examination for the ex-girlfriend, or watch the whole thing? Let me listen real quick.
What?
Also, what is up with this camera quality?
Yes, please, by all means.
The three goons, the ex-girlfriend, and the lead detective. Which one is the lead detective? What day is that? I was scrolling through. Is the lead detective, is it a female? Is it the woman with blonde hair? Because I saw her up on the stand a lot. Is she the lead detective? Oh, really? That chapter goes deep in this case? You guys want to watch that chapter? Let's see. And I have his up too. I think, do we want to listen to his testimony or no? Let's see. That chapter, ex-NFL? Ooh, what's his name? Travis Rudolph? Travis Rudolph. I don't see it. Walmart has a limited plan for 45. Is it good though? I don't see anything up here. I need to boost the audio. You love his accent? Where is he from again? Was it Australia? Oh God, this audio.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Take your seats. All right, you may commence with redirect.
Commence with redirect. Oh, this is redirect. Commence with redirect. Who's this lawyer?
Exactly what his decision was, but if you go off to the CFO, yes, that is something that you do try to pursue after.
Okay. You also told the jury yesterday that I felt uncertainty because I didn't see him for a month. You remember that?
Correct.
Okay. So you basically did not see him at all for a month, right?
In person, because I was healing. But
Is this the state? This is the state, right? I was reading that she went up on the stand on day 2. This is day 2.
So you smashed his iPhone not out of anger, but because you were hurt?
Yes.
Okay. You also picked up the medal trophy on his dresser, and you hit him over the head.
Oh, this is the defense. Oh, Lord. This is going to be a long one. Cool. I'm really speeding this one up, okay? We're speeding this one up. And I got to update my title. Let's see. What's her name? Ex-NFL trial. Ex-girlfriend of ex-NFL trial. How do I even title this? Ex-NFL trial with ex-girlfriend. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm having titling issues. All right. We'll speed to 1.5 and...
All right, Ms. Jones. All right, Ms. Edwards, you may continue the direct examination of Ms. Jones.
Continue the direct examination. This is direct examination?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning.
Oh, I get it now. Okay. I'm thinking the state is presenting their case and this is the state's witness. You're saying that this is the defense's witness?
Good morning.
Yes, I apologize to the jury as well as the judge. I know you guys are on a time limit, but something happened with my vehicle.
Okay, so
Rip.
thankfully the vehicle got fixed and you're here. Thank
Yeah.
you. So last evening when we left off, we were talking about a series of text messages that you got from Torini, and you said that you did not take her seriously to mean that
No?
your brothers would be in danger if they went over there, your brother and his friends.
Correct.
Did you know whether or not Mr. Ruth
Wait, did she testify on day 1? Oh my gosh, she might have testified on day 1. She is the state's witness. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to YouTube really quick. Law and crime. This is law and crime, right? Law and crime. Ex-NFL day 1. What happened on day 1? Here's day 1. Oh, this is her. Oh, okay. Geez, she's up there for a long time. Okay.
is the purpose of meeting up?
I just missed him. I haven't seen him in a while. It's been a month, and that's basically what it was.
Okay. And was it still your intention that you two would be going to the movies that night?
So who's this? Is this a defense? What is this case about? Ex-NFL player Travis Rudolph is on the stand, or I mean, he was found not guilty, but he was on trial for the murder of, I don't know if there's like, this is his ex-girlfriend. She thought he was cheating. She decides to send 4 dudes over to her house. Some of them were her brothers. Some of them were like, I don't know, maybe her friends or something like that. 4 guys went over there. 2 of them got shot. 1 died. So this is what he's on trial for. The black woman is for the prosecution. Okay. She's the prosecution. The white woman is a defense then. Okay. She's the prosecution. Okay, so then I'm looking for day 2. Because I think you guys were telling me to watch day 2. Right?
Rudolph had any firearms?
Yes.
And how many firearms did Mr. Rudolph have?
2 that I know of. I know he had an AR-15, and I know he had like a regular handgun.
How familiar are you with firearms? Do you know sort of the make, model, anything like that?
Not really, to be 100% honest.
So you knew one was a handgun, meaning it would be held in the...
Correct.
Yeah, the only reason why I'm watching this is because chat was telling me about how crazy this case was. Apparently, she accused the guy of cheating, but then she was not very forthcoming about the fact that she was married. I did see a clip where she was like, I think the lawyer asked, did you ever tell him that you were married? And she was like, he didn't ask. Which is wild. That's so wild. It's like, well, why would they ask? Like, it's like, do I have to ask you all the fucking questions out there in order to find out if you're married? And I don't know. People like that are just like, I don't know. It's like very scummy. They didn't ask. Well, I mean, when y'all were dating, he probably assumed that you were single. That's all I saw. The rest was what I heard from you guys.
Shorter gun. And then you said one was sort of a rifle type. You said AR-15, but you're not sure if that's the make or model.
Yeah, and he's always saying something about like a drum. Like I know he had a drum for the AR-15, but not really educated in that aspect.
And do you know where Mr. Rudolph would keep the firearms in the residence?
My thing about this case was I did hear that when the football player fired at the guys, that they were already running away. So I thought that doesn't count as stand your ground. However, I don't know if they were running away to just like fuck off, or were they running away to like get guns or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know much about this.
He would keep his handgun in his underwear drawer, and then he would keep his AR-15 like in his closet.
And that's a closet in the bedroom as well?
Yeah, his bedroom.
After the course of what happened on the night, early morning hours of the 7th, really going into the next day, did you do any web searches about laws or anything having to do with that?
Yes.
And why were you doing that?
I've never been in a situation like this before in my life, so I definitely just wanted to do research and just look things up to make sure, if anything I need to turn myself in or I need to protect myself, I wanted to make sure I knew what to do.
All right. And did you have a particular interest in the law?
As in?
Did you want to study it? Anything related to that? Go to law school?
Well, back in the day, yeah, I didn't want to go to law school, I'm not going to lie, but it ended up not happening.
Okay. And you said your profession is a realtor?
Yeah, I do real estate.
All right, no further questions at this time.
Okay, thanks. Who's going to, all right, Ms. Perlette, cross-examination? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I think this is the very start of cross-examination. She claimed he shoved her to the ground, but yeah, she called her brothers and his buddies to shoot his shit up. Oh, I heard about that too. Sorry, I did see that clip in. And then they were like, what did you mean by shoot his shit up? And she's like, well, I didn't mean at him. I mean his stuff. It's like, oh, so like to shoot what? Like at his car, at his house? Okay, and that's all I saw, I promise. There's a YouTube video that talked about this. There's a video of her hitting him. I haven't seen that.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so this is the defense attorney. All right.
Travis Rudolph, you knew that he had been in the NFL, is that correct?
Correct.
You knew he played for the Giants and then he played for the Dolphins, right?
Later on.
Right, but
Not initially did I know that, no.
But at some point during your relationship, you knew that he had a very lucrative contract with the NFL, correct?
I knew nothing about his contract.
Okay. But you knew he played for the NFL, right?
Correct.
Okay. And at some point he became injured, right?
Correct.
And he was cut from playing for the NFL. He lost his contract, basically, right?
Correct.
Oh, because he got injured? Oh, dude, that sucks. How long was he in the NFL for?
And he would spend his days down in Miami rehabbing and training, right?
No, he would spend his days at home playing video games.
So your testimony is that he never went down to Miami and was rehabbing his injury in order to play for the Canadian League that he just landed a contract with?
That's not my testimony. You said what was... Go ahead, I'm listening.
Isn't it true that he was rehabbing his injury?
Sometimes.
Okay. And other times he was playing video games. That's your testimony.
Correct.
And isn't it true that he was also training down at the NFL facility down in Miami after he was injured?
I'm not sure what he would do in Miami.
That was a concern of yours, wasn't it? That he was off in Miami and you didn't know what he was doing, right?
Correct.
Okay. When you met Travis, he had a nice vehicle, a BMW truck. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And he was taking care of you basically financially when you guys were together, was he not?
He was not taking care of me financially at all during our entire relationship.
Okay. How old were you when you guys met?
23.
So in March of 2020, you were 23 years old?
March of 2020. Yes, I was 23.
And you were living with your mom and stepdad and your brother at the time?
Correct.
That was in the apartment in Delray Beach?
Yes.
Spring Harbor Apartments? Apartment, is that a yes?
Yes.
So this happened back in 2021 of April, Palm Beach County, Florida. He was facing 1 count of first-degree murder and 3 counts of attempted murder.
Apartment E?
Correct.
Is that a 2-bedroom apartment?
No.
How many bedrooms?
3.
During that time, you didn't own your own home, right?
No, I didn't.
You were living in the home that your parents provided you with, right?
Correct.
You were living under their roof, right?
Correct.
You didn't own any property, any real estate, right?
No, but I was a realtor.
Okay, let's talk about that. You got your real estate license in February of 2020, right?
Correct.
So right around the time that you and Travis met.
Correct.
And then COVID hit, right?
Correct.
And let's see, you made 1 sale. It was a rental, right?
Yes.
So during the whole time that you had your real estate license,
I just got my real estate license in March, not to cut you off, sorry, but I just got my license in March and then COVID.
my question,
Okay.
isn't it true that you were not making a living as a realtor? COVID hit. There was no sales going on. You weren't making a living as a realtor, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you're living with your mom and dad.
Sure. Feel free to stand up and stretch, please, ladies and gentlemen, but remember and obey the 4 cardinal rules.
Get up and stretch. I actually do need some more water, guys. So get up and stretch, and we'll listen to the rest of this. I hear it's really spicy, and we just started. It's already kind of spicy. She was married but supposedly separated. Okay, yeah. Well, see, sometimes like I don't give people too much shit about the whole being married thing because sometimes like you could be separated. But let's see. I
You
got a
really
little.
weren't making a living as a real estate agent, right?
No, but I do have a mom and she's a medical assistant, so.
Okay. And you were living with your mom,
Correct.
right? And you also had some costly cosmetic surgery around that time, right?
I feel uncomfortable discussing that, so.
Yes.
It's like, so you were making a living. It's like, no, but my mom was working. She doesn't like answering questions. She got a BBL? Dude, I hear BBL is like one of the most riskiest surgery that you can get. I don't know why people get BBLs. I don't know. BBLs just look really weird. Like really like unnatural.
During the time you had cosmetic surgery, did you not?
I did have cosmetic surgery.
Okay. And it's your testimony that even though that you weren't making a living as a realtor, you were not relying on Travis for any financial help, correct?
Correct.
Okay. In fact, yesterday.
Did she go to Mexico to get a BBL? I don't know, man. Some people go to like Tijuana to get a fucking BBL. Brazilian butt lift. It's the one that like when you think of the Kardashians, you know, with like the big booties, but like their thighs are really skinny because like they didn't really work out. That's like a BBL.
Yesterday, you testified. You told this jury that he never financially supported you 1,000%, right?
Correct.
At that time, you were also sleeping over his house pretty much on a daily basis. That's what you told the jury yesterday.
Oh, did he pay for her BBL or something?
Correct.
And it was during this time that you and Travis were dating that you were actually married to another man, Andre Chinsang. Is that correct?
Legally separated, but correct.
Well, you were still legally married, weren't you?
But people could be married and separated.
Okay.
So we were separated.
Right, but you weren't divorced. Let me put it that way.
Correct.
Okay. So if you're not divorced, then you're still legally married. Is that correct?
I thought separated was a thing when it came to marriage. I thought you can either be married, separated, or divorced. But if you want to get technical, like very technical, yes, we were not divorced.
Okay. And while you were dating.
I think that makes sense. Okay, if she's like separated, I thought she was like still married and like still with the dude. If she was like separated, I think that's okay.
Travis, for this year or so, year and a half, you never told him that you were married to another man, right?
No, I didn't.
And you testified yesterday that you and Travis had a conversation about marriage. Is that right? That's what you told the jury yesterday. That you and Travis, at some point, you had a conversation about marriage. You remember that?
Oh, and she like never disclosed to him that she had been married, and she's like in separation with this guy.
I didn't necessarily say we had a conversation about marriage. We basically were discussing what that came up about a future, and I said things have came up that weren't that serious, but yeah, conversations were had.
About marriage. That was your testimony.
Not specifically about marriage, just about a future between me and him, kids, things, etc., stuff like that.
Okay, so you're telling this jury today that you did not say yesterday on direct examination that you and Travis had a conversation about marriage. Is that what you're telling this jury?
No, we had a conversation about that. Yes, we did.
Okay. And you had a conversation with a man about marriage, and you're still married to Andre Chinsang. Is that correct?
Correct.
So you lied to Travis. You misled him, did you not?
Travis never asked me if I was married.
So you have to be asked a question in order to get an answer, or to be told
This is the part that I saw.
the truth. Is that what you're telling this jury?
I'm just telling the jury that the conversation about me being married never came up, so I never spoke on it because I felt like it was not my personal business to speak on.
Wait, it was not your personal business. Wait, why wouldn't it be your personal business? That is your personal
What
business.
I'm telling this jury is that unless somebody asks you a question, a specific question, you don't have to tell them the correct or honest answer. That's what you just told them.
I'm not telling you guys that. I'm telling you guys that in relationships, you have a past. It might not be clean. It might not be the best past that you have, but I decided to leave the past of my relationship behind me. When I started dating Travis, I felt like I didn't need to disclose that because it had nothing to do with what me and Travis had going on.
So
Okay, I can understand that.
we're talking about marriage, and you're married. You never told him, right? Isn't it true you never told him?
I never, no, he answered.
Next question.
You said that yesterday you told the jury that your relationship with Travis wasn't an open relationship. You remember that?
Correct.
Okay. So the implication or the understanding was that this was a relationship
Oh god, the fidgeting's gonna drive me crazy because I'm like it's like sped up, so she's just like fidgeting around and stuff.
that was exclusive between the two of you?
Correct.
And Andre didn't fit in this at all.
Haven't spoken to him in 2 years.
You got divorced from him after Mr. Rudolph's arrest. Is that not correct?
Yes, because it was already in the plan before Travis got arrested.
You knew in April of 2021 that Travis had received a contract with the Canadian League and was leaving for Canada in the following month in May. Did you not?
Yeah, I knew that.
Okay. And he got a contract to play football. He was excited about that. He was leaving for Canada in a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he wasn't taking you along with him, was he?
I didn't ask to go. I had my own. I was a realtor. I was starting to get back into real estate.
Okay, during COVID when you weren't making any sales, right?
Yo, this defense attorney, man, just throwing them jabs, throwing them shades.
He wasn't taking you with him, was he? No, he was leaving you. Right? He was leaving you. He was going off to Canada, and he was leaving you here in the States, right?
Yes.
Okay, he had no interest in taking you with him.
Usually when you're seeing like a cross-examination, sometimes like it takes like, you know, like you're like, first like you try to be friends with them, right? Try to like dismantle them a little bit, you know, or disarm them. And at some point it like slowly escalates and boom, you know, it gets really spicy. This just got really spicy, like just right off the bat. Holy
Right?
shit.
I don't know exactly.
Overruled. Go ahead, answer the question.
I don't know what Travis's intentions were
Did he
of
ask
taking
you to
me.
go with him?
He used to say things like that all the time, but that's hearsay, so I'm not going to say that.
Hold on. You're telling us, let me ask it this way. This man never planned on taking you with him to Canada. Isn't that true?
I don't know that for a fact.
Did he ever tell you he was taking you to Canada with him?
He would say things like that all the time. You can come visit me.
So then he did tell you.
He thinks like that all the time.
Taking you with him. He had no intentions. Because his
I don't know that. So you're asking me a question, and I'm responding to you. I do not know if he had intentions or not of taking me.
You didn't have a plane ticket to go with him, did you?
He didn't have one either. He didn't even have a passport.
Did you have a plane ticket to go with Mr. Rudolph to Canada?
He was not leaving until May, and no, I did not have a plane ticket. This all happened in April.
At the time of this incident, did you have any means of transport or a plane ticket, anything showing this jury that it was his intention that you were moving to Canada with him?
No.
And you knew.
And they were still together around this time? He was leaving her behind?
In April, when you guys were dating, that it was his plan to just go work in Canada for a short period of time, and his hope was to get back into the NFL. Isn't that true?
I didn't know his ins and outs. I knew he had a contract with the CFL, and that's the most that I can say to you. That's all I really know.
Okay, so he never discussed with you his hope that he was going to come back to Florida and work again for the NFL? That was never a discussion?
He has said things like that, but I don't know exactly his intentions of what would have happened.
So he did say things like that. There was a discussion with you about that. You just said that.
There was a discussion.
Overruled.
Didn't you just say that you guys had a discussion about that?
Yeah, we had a discussion.
So hard?
It's not. I'm just trying to make sure I'm answering the questions to my best ability. That's it.
All you have to do is tell the truth, and it'll be.
I am telling the truth, but you're asking.
Question.
Thank you.
Okay.
Just going back and forth. He said she wasn't his girlfriend. Wait till he gets on the stand. It was funny. I could hear her screaming 1,200 miles away.
You were hoping that when he got the contract with the NFL, that you guys would then be married, like you told the jury you guys had discussed. And,
No.
And you would benefit by his millions of dollars that he was going to be making from the NFL.
First of all, I didn't even know how much money he was being offered.
Next question.
You guys had broken up in April 6th of that year, right? You were basically finished.
I wouldn't say that from the text messages that were shown yesterday.
Well, what about in your mind? Not about the text messages. Isn't it a fact that you guys were pretty much over?
I said I wanted a break, but you know how relationships are. Relationships are iffy. You might say you want to break one day. The next day, you guys might are. Relationships are iffy. You might say you want to break one day. The next day, you guys might be back together. So
Well, you told the jury yesterday that you hadn't seen each other for about a month. You remember that?
if you don't see someone, it doesn't mean that you're not with them.
Okay. Well, you weren't with each other during that month. You weren't having any
But we were still,
relations during that month.
we were talking every day, FaceTiming every day, and some days when he would come back down.
Wait, how long were they dating for? Like a year? A year? They met in 2020, right? And this happened in April 2021. They were dating for a year?
He would come pick me up and I would see him.
Correct. But you would agree that if you don't see somebody for a month, and prior to that, the implication is that you were seeing them before that, that the relationship has taken a change in course, has it not?
Because I had surgery.
So the only reason you stopped seeing each other for a month was because you had surgery.
Correct. I was at his house every day before I had surgery, and then when I had surgery, I was only able to move so much, and I wasn't really able to drive in a vehicle that much.
You just said that sometimes he would come and pick you up, even though you told
I had to sit a certain way. I had to do things a certain way in order to go places. Yes.
even though you told the jury yesterday that he took care
Okay, so maybe it was a BBL.
of you for a week, right? While you were recuperating, right? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Yesterday you told the jury that you were concerned because he was in Miami so long, and I didn't know where we stood. Remember telling the jury that?
Yes.
So you didn't know where your relationship was at. Isn't that correct?
I didn't know when it came to him being in Miami, but I knew that me and him still had a solid relationship because it was over a year.
Well, why did you say then? I was concerned that he was in Miami so long. I didn't know where we stood.
I didn't. That's why I was going on the movie date so I can figure out where we stood.
Because your relationship was basically over at that point.
Nobody ever said the relationship was over. So to my knowledge, it was not over.
You now said, what you told her yesterday, was that he was in Miami so long, to use your terms. So he was spending a lot of time in Miami, was he not?
He was spending time in Miami, yes.
He was spending more time in Miami than he was playing video games, wasn't he?
Kind of in the middle.
And you were jealous that he was down in
Yeah, video games he playing? Just curious. What was he playing, like Fortnite?
Miami so long, right?
I'm not going to use the term jealous. No, I'm not jealous. I wanted him to do well. I wanted him to go to the CFL. I knew that was his dream. So I wouldn't call that jealous at all.
So You knew then, now again, that after he went to Canada, his dream was to come back and his hope was to get a contract with the NFL, right?
I mean, usually that's what people decide. I'm not sure exactly what his decision was, but if you go off to the CFL, yes, that is something that you do try to pursue after.
Okay. You also told the jury yesterday that I felt uncertainty because I didn't see him for a month. You remember that?
Correct.
Okay. So you basically did not see him at all for a month, right?
In person, because I was healing, but I did see him through FaceTime, on the phone, through text, every other type of communication.
Why would you feel uncertainty if the relationship had changed course? Why did you care that he was down in Miami?
It's not that I cared, it's just that I just had surgery, so I kind of wanted comforting from him and him to be there.
Wait, so is he saying that at the time that he was seeing another person, that he wasn't even with her? Is that what's going on here? But she's saying that they were together?
A little bit more and things like that, so that's more of what it was.
Well, you had some concerns because the minute he stepped out of the house when DJ came home, you took it upon yourself to snoop through his phone, right?
I didn't snoop because he gave me the password, so I just want to clarify that.
Oh, hold on. He did not give you the password that day, right?
He gave it to me to let me know I can look through it whenever I wanted to.
Right, that he gave you that password months earlier on in the relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
So this is not a situation where you guys are alone in his house. He says, hey, by the way, here's my password. Feel free to go into my phone. I'm going to go step outside. That didn't happen, right?
No.
Okay. So he walks out for a minute, and you could not...
No, I don't get Jody vibes. No, definitely not Jody vibes. Jody vibes is like... Jody vibes. I don't know. Have we come across another Jody-ish person? I don't remember. But she's not Jody vibes. Absolutely not.
resist to take his phone, his personal property, go in, put his password, and start snooping around, right?
Yes, because we were in a relationship and he gave me that password.
Okay. So have you snooped around in his phone on prior occasions with his password?
No, because I just had surgery, so I haven't seen him in a while.
Right. So you were snooping around because you were...
I wouldn't use the word snoop.
Overruled.
You were snooping around because you were concerned about him seeing other women down in Miami. Isn't that the bottom line?
The bottom line is he was my boyfriend at the time. I haven't seen him in a month, and I was curious. That's the bottom line.
Okay. You didn't want to lose him, right?
Of course not.
And when Travis said that he found Kyla's body more attractive than yours, you became infuriated, right?
No.
You didn't?
No.
You were upset that he found Kyla more attractive than you?
No.
When you saw the text from Kyla, you told the jury yesterday, it was time for me to go. You remember that?
Correct.
Okay. And when you saw the text from Kyla, Travis was still outside, right? He was out with his brother. You were looking through his phone when he was outside.
Correct.
So you waited for Travis to come back into the house to confront him, did you not?
I more so didn't confront him. I just went into the room to grab my things.
So you didn't walk right out the door, did you?
I went to go grab my things, and he seen his phone on the couch, so he kind of put two and two together.
You waited for him to come back in so that you could confront him. Isn't that what's happening?
I didn't confront him. He kind of confronted me about the situation because he seen his phone was open.
Oh, he confronted her. Interesting choice of words there.
You wanted to hurt him, and that's why you stayed in the house so that you could confront him and then destroy his property, did you not?
No, I wanted to grab my things and I wanted to leave.
Okay. Well, you immediately went off on him, didn't you?
No.
Yesterday you told the jury I was hurt. I was not angry. You remember that?
Yes.
But you were actually very angry, were you not?
I was more so hurt than angry.
But you were also angry, weren't you?
I was more so hurt than angry.
So you're also angry. All right, flip it around. Give her a second. Takes a bit, you know.
Do you remember giving testimony under oath on November 8th of 2021?
No.
You don't remember coming to the courthouse?
I remember, but you have to kind of refresh my memory.
Remember coming to the courthouse, right? You were subpoenaed.
For the self,
No, you were subpoenaed to come to the courthouse, and you gave sworn testimony. Do you remember that?
was it the deposition? I'm just
Sure.
with the,
Stand up and stretch, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, get up and stretch. I like how the judges let us stretch. He's so nice. Oh, that's him right there.
Yesterday, you told the jury that you told Travis 1,000,000 times, I want to leave, and he wouldn't let me go. You remember that?
yes.
And isn't it, in fact, that he was the one that was actually trying to calm you down?
Not at the beginning, no.
At some point, he was trying to calm you down, wasn't he?
No.
Isn't it true that he was trying to talk some sense into you?
No, I was trying to get my things and leave, and he was trying to stop me from leaving.
You also used the word that Travis was acting erratic yesterday. You remember that?
Correct.
Isn't it the fact that you were the one that was actually being erratic?
I would say he started it, and then, yes, I became erratic right after.
So after you saw the text messages from Kayla, you actually had Travis FaceTime her, did you not?
Yes.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Did you FaceTime her, or did you have Travis FaceTime her?
I just put the phone up and pressed FaceTime,
Okay,
so she didn't see me or anything.
Oh, was she like in the background? And then like, is she going to try to get him to say something and then like have the girl confirm it?
And the reason you did that was so that she could only see Travis, and you could evaluate or watch the way that Travis was interacting with her. Did you not?
Right.
And so, what did you, after you saw that interaction, it was your impression that somehow these two had a relationship, right?
I wouldn't say relationship, but something was going on, yes.
It was more than a friendship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
And that infuriated you as well, right?
No, I'm not going to use the word infuriated.
You were angry?
More hurt.
So you smashed his iPhone not out of anger, but because you were hurt?
Yes.
You also
No, it's not looking
picked
good.
up the metal trophy on his dresser, and
It's okay to be angry. Just like, yeah, I was angry.
you hit him over the head, did you not?
I did not hit him over the head.
So what did you do with the metal trophy?
If I hit him over the head with a metal trophy, would you?
What you did instead, not if.
I held the metal trophy up because he was standing in front of the door. I was asking him if I could leave. He said no. So I picked it up and I said, let me leave. And he ended up raising his hands up and he said, okay, you can go.
Okay.
All right, so you never hit him with the trophy, you never threw the trophy at him?
Never.
Right?
Not at all.
You also took his PlayStation and broke it, did you not?
That was far. Are we going in chronological order or no?
I'm asking questions, you're answering them.
Okay.
The question was, regardless of the chronological order, at some point you took his PlayStation and you smashed it, did you not?
Yes, after I was slammed on the ground, I did.
Okay. So you did all
no.
these things not out of anger, but you did them because you were hurt, right?
Oh no, she should have just said that she was angry.
It got to a point where I was angry, but with the question
Because people can sympathize. Like, hey, like, you know, if you were cheated on, you would be angry.
that you were asking me, was I infuriated about him saying things about Kayla or the other things you were asking me? That was out of hurt, but it did get to an angry point. Yes, it did.
And that's when he was following you outside and he was in your ear telling you that Kayla had a better body than you, right?
It was more than that. It was the
Oh no.
bitch word, the fuck you, it was more than just about a female.
Okay. And isn't it true? Let's talk about the B word. You were calling him a broke bitch. You were screaming at him out there on the front lawn, were you not?
After he started calling me one first, yeah, I was.
So you called him a broke bitch. What did you mean by that?
Do they have like a surveillance video of this fight or something like that?
That he has no money?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So why was that important? Why the fact that he had no money? Why was that something that was important to you at that point?
It wasn't important to me because I was still dealing with him when he didn't have money.
Okay. But why was that important at that point when you're being
Because he's saying low blows to hurt my feelings, so as a reaction as a human, I'm going to say low blows to hurt his feelings.
So you were pretty fired up at this point, right?
I wasn't really that fired up, but I was upset and I was reacting to what he was saying to me at that point, yes.
Okay.
Yesterday before this jury that he compared me to other women. You remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So besides Kayla, who else did he compare you to?
It was just, I can't pinpoint names or anything like that. I don't really remember. It was just a lot of different names of who I am, what I am, and things like that.
And that set you off, right?
Didn't set me off.
That's why I was confused too, because I felt like when she was being direct examined, I felt like she was still a little bit combative. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they should have been like, hey, when you get on the stand up there, just chill out a little bit, you know? Just chill. I know you're a little bit spicy, but just chill a little bit.
I wanted to go. It was ready. It was time for me to go.
Maybe it's because we're listening at 1.5. Let me slow it down a little bit. It might be better if I slow it down.
Just getting too heated.
All right, well, you saying now you wanted to go, but didn't you tell the jury yesterday? Then Travis said, get the F out of my house. Do you remember telling the jury that yesterday?
I told the jury that I had to go get my things.
You told the jury, then he said, get the F out of my house. That's what you told the jury yesterday.
Okay, he might have said that. Yeah, he said that.
He wanted you out. He wasn't blocking you. He wanted you out of the house.
He wanted me to get out after he told me to go in the house to get my things. So I went into that.
I think faster was better, actually. It's all on the ring. Oh, no. Oh, no, not the ring.
House to grab my personal items that I brought over there.
Right. He didn't want you there anymore. He wanted you out of his house. That's what you told the jury yesterday.
Okay.
He wasn't keeping you confined in there, was he?
He was.
He wasn't falsely imprisoning you on the 6th, was he?
He was keeping me confined in the room. That's why I picked up the trophy.
And that's why he told you to get the F out of the house.
You're not in chronological order, so you're saying it.
At some point, he told you to get the F out of his house, did he not?
After he held me in the room and was not allowing me to leave.
He wanted absolutely nothing to do with you. Isn't that the fact?
I wanted absolutely nothing to do with him.
Where's the where's the ring video? Wait, is it the ring video of their fight right now or the ring video of when he shot at the guys? Excuse me.
And isn't true, you told this jury yesterday that Travis said, I don't like you anymore. You remember that? You remember telling this to the jury yesterday?
He was saying, I don't necessarily remember him saying those exact words, but he was saying a lot of things. Like I said,
Then why'd you tell the jury yesterday? He said, I don't like you anymore.
he probably did say that. He was saying a lot of hurtful things.
So he did say that, right?
Okay, so yeah.
All right, so he told you to get the F out of his house and he didn't like you anymore, right?
Okay.
Is that true?
Over a million other words, but yes.
Okay, well, I'm asking you about those specific words, not the other million words that he said.
Yes.
So he said a million words?
Not a million, but he said a lot of other
You
things.
just told the jury he said a million words. So is that true?
He said a lot of other
I'm
things.
asking you if your
He said a lot of other things.
My question. I'm asking you if your testimony right now that he told you a million words, if that's an exaggeration or if that's the truth.
Obviously, he didn't say 1 million words,
That's what you just told them.
but he said a lot of other things to me.
Are there other things you've exaggerated about during your testimony?
Not at all. I've been extremely truthful.
All right. So despite the fact that he told you these things, you want the jury to believe that he was the one that was blocking you during this event.
Asked and answered, sustained. Next question, please.
Travis, you didn't want to leave because what you were doing was interested in destroying his property, right?
No.
Yesterday you told the jury, I was saying stuff, but Travis started, right?
Correct.
And isn't it a fact that you were the one that actually started this whole thing by sneaking and looking into his phone?
I didn't sneak and look through the phone if I have the password.
But he didn't tell you you could look at his phone, did he?
But if someone gives you something and tells you are allowed to look at it, I don't believe that is called sneaking.
Isn't it true that you were the first person to become...
But did they know that they were like, it depends, right? So like, yeah, she could have the password, but if he didn't know that she was using the password, look at it at a certain time frame, then yeah, it could still be sneaking. Just because you have the password doesn't mean you're not sneaking.
physically violent with Travis and not the other way around?
No.
Not at all?
When we were in the house, he was already nudging me to get out.
You were the one that was first physically violent, were you not?
If you can play something or show me something, I can't recall the exact steps of the moments.
You may.
Oh no, we got the receipts.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And you were asked similar questions to the questions that I'm just asking you now?
Yes.
You remember me asking you those questions?
I'm reading. Give me one moment, please.
No, I'm asking you. Do you remember?
I'm trying to read them so I can...
What did he play in the NFL?
Us under oath. You remember that?
Yes.
Want to become physically violent with Travis, not the other way around. Answer, correct.
Yes, I said correct.
You remember that?
Yes.
So you were the first one to become physically violent with Travis, right?
Mhm.
That's what you told us under oath on November 8th of 2021.
Yes.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, but today you're just saying that's not
I didn't say that. I said I didn't remember. I said if you can show me something to recall in my memory. I just said that.
You do remember that you were
Right.
the one that started being physically violent with him.
Yes, after he started calling me names in my face, running me down, yes. I tried to push him away from me.
You may.
Oof. Wide receiver? Is that the person that catches the ball?
This manhandled you, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. You've also testified that he picked you up off your feet and slammed you to the ground 2 times. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct.
So he literally picked you up off your feet and then slammed you to the ground on 2 occasions.
Correct.
And you testified that he was disrespectful yesterday. That's the moral of his story. Is that correct?
Correct.
Isn't the moral of the story is that you sent your brother and his friends to go kill Travis?
No, the moral of the story is him putting his hands on me. That is really the basis of everything. And I didn't send my brothers to kill him.
No, you just sent a text to go shoot up his shit, right?
I didn't say shoot him.
Oh no.
You sent a text to go shoot up his shit, right?
Correct.
Tell the jury what the shit is.
When you're angry, you say things. I'm sure everyone in this courtroom has said something when you're... I'm trying to speak. If you want me to answer your question, you have to let me
Oh no. Oh man.
answer your question.
Well, if you were responsive to my question, I wouldn't have.
All right. Answer the question, please.
Okay. Can you repeat your question?
Question was shit. What does shit mean in
Wait, is that the judge? What is shit? What does shit mean?
I wouldn't have.
All right. Answer the question, please.
Okay. Can you repeat your question?
Question was shit. What does shit mean in the context of that text?
Anything but him.
Okay. So,
Anything but him.
so it could have been his brother.
No.
It could have been the house.
Nothing violent toward a person.
Nothing violent.
It could have been his mother's house, right?
I was upset and my adrenaline was running and I said something that I didn't mean. That's the bottom line of that. I didn't mean for my brothers to do any of that. That's why when my brother left the house, he did not have a firearm on him.
So you're not answering my question again.
Okay.
You told the jury that shit meant anything other than a person, right? That's what you just told them. You remember that?
Okay. Can I clarify the jury?
Finish my question.
Okay.
Didn't you just tell the jury that shit meant anything?
But I think the fact that like her brother's friend, whatever, I think the fact that they showed up with guns, that's what makes it bad. If they showed up without guns and she was like, yeah, shoot up his shit, then okay, yeah, maybe fuck his shit up or something like that, right? But didn't they show up with guns? There was wasn't there like a video where like you could see like, I don't know, I think did we listen to, was it part of like the opening statement or something like that? I don't remember, but when you guys were telling me about it, I think we like watched a little bit of it where they were saying like, oh, there's an outline of his gun, or was it a recap from Court TV? Fuck, I don't remember. 2 guns and they hit up. Yeah, like they literally showed up with guns. What do you do with guns? Just gonna flex on him and then what? Just like
Thing other than a person, yes or no?
I would like to clarify that.
Well, answer yes or no, and then you can clarify. Did you not just tell them that?
I did tell them that, but I want to.
I mean, I guess like instead of her being so combative, she could just be like, you know what? Like he hurt me, and I just wanted my brothers to show him that like to never fuck with me again. Not kill him, but just scare him straight. You know, I think if she went with that version of events instead of like arguing back and forth with the lawyer, it might have went better for her. Maybe.
Clarify what I mean.
Okay.
Like, just go there and just threaten him, you know, be like, hey, you know what? Don't fuck with my sister. Next time you do that, I might shoot you or something like that.
When I said that, I was upset. I was angry, and I said something that I didn't mean. My adrenaline was running. I am clarifying my answer. Am I not?
Go ahead, finish.
So I was upset, and I ended up saying something that I didn't mean. Like, people say things when they're upset that they don't mean all the time. But since the situation has happened, it obviously blew up 20 times more. But I didn't necessarily mean for anything to happen to Travis's family, his house, or anything. It was like my second home. I would not want anything to happen there.
I mean, obviously not a second home at this point, right? Because he booted her out.
All right. So again, when you just told the jury that when you sent the text to go shoot up his shit, to shoot meant anything other than a person.
I just clarified my answer to the jury.
I'm asking, isn't that what you just told them?
Sustain. Next question. Please.
Isn't it true that when you left his house, that
Oh, no.
he didn't slam you to the ground? Well, he didn't lift you up off your feet and slam you to the ground, that you actually tripped and fell.
I didn't trip and fall.
Isn't it true that Travis put his foot out and you tripped over his foot and you fell?
No, that's not true.
So you're telling this jury that the video that we saw from the Ring camera shows him picking you up off your feet and slamming you to the ground.
You can barely see it because Daryl's in the way.
So it's the video does.
The video that we seen yesterday, you can barely see the full physical.
Do you guys have a link to this Ring video? Is it on YouTube? I'm sure they played somewhere around here, right? When did they play the video? I don't know. I might have to do some digging.
Between me and Travis.
Okay, but the video is the video, right?
Correct, but nightly.
You're not suggesting to the jury that that video was tampered with, right?
No, not at all. But I'm just saying the angle of it wasn't. You couldn't see the full testimony of what I'm saying.
Well, we saw you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Correct.
We saw Travis, right?
Yes.
We saw you fall to the ground, right?
And you saw Daryl in front of the entire thing.
And we saw you on the ground, right?
Correct.
We saw you jump right back up, right?
Correct.
And then we saw you storm into the house, right?
Yes, he was saying to get my things.
Right. You told Keyshawn that Travis slammed you to the ground 2 times, right?
Correct.
You also told the police that
They played during the trial. It's hard to see the angle.
Travis slammed you to the ground several times, right?
Correct.
You also told Tyler that Travis slammed you to the ground a couple times.
911, what's
And you
your
also told that to
emergency?
Tierney and Linda, right?
Correct.
And to be clear, Tierney is Tierney Coleman, Travis's sister?
Correct.
And Linda is his mom, right?
Correct.
So you told basically everyone that night that he picked you up off your feet and slammed you to the ground.
Correct.
Now, on the video we saw, you went back in the house for the purpose of getting your tequila bottle, right?
I was grabbing all my things. I think I still had things on the couch as well.
One of the things you went back into the house to grab was your tequila bottle, was it not?
Correct.
The bottle that you had bought early that evening.
Correct.
It was your bottle, not Travis's, right?
Correct.
And isn't it a fact that you started
How much was this tequila bottle? Was it expensive or something?
hitting him, and we saw that on the video yesterday, that you started hitting him with your fists,
Yes.
okay? And you were slapping him, were you not?
I don't think I slapped him, but I did like throw a punch or two, at him so I can go in there and get my stuff. He wasn't letting me.
Okay, so he was physically holding you and not letting you go in?
He was blocking me from going in. He's telling me to get my things. I'm going in there to get my things. Then he's blocking me saying like, back up.
And he never raised a hand and touched you, did he not?
Yeah, he was raising his hand the whole time, like grabbing me, pushing me back. Yeah, the whole time.
Okay, so did he punch you?
No, he didn't punch me.
Did he slap you?
No, he didn't slap me.
Did he pick up any objects and hit you over the head with them?
No.
So other than standing there, right, and he did absolutely nothing else to you?
Just like a physical altercation without punching or slapping or anything like that. Just the grabbing me up and DJ trying to grab him. It was.
Where was he grabbing you? Was he grabbing you by the hair?
Just like by my shoulders, but like by my arms, like trying to get out, things like that.
Even though he's the one that told you to get the F out of his house, right?
No, he told me to go in there and get my stuff.
Because he wanted you out. He wanted you out of there,
And I was leaving with my things that I brought.
including your bottle.
It doesn't matter about the bottle, but I wanted my actual clothes and things that I brought because I used to sleep over there all the time.
Well, it doesn't matter about your bottle, because when you did leave the house eventually, you took that bottle and hit him over the head.
Damn, how much? Wait, did she hit him with the trophy? Did she hit him with the bottle too? The bottle break?
Isn't it true that after you left the house, you picked up a brick outside on the lawn?
I picked up a lot of things and I threw a lot of things. I'm not 100% sure about everything, but I was throwing things, yes.
You picked up that brick. It was your intent to smash Travis's car window, was it not?
It wasn't my intention. I was just frustrated and angry and I was throwing things.
Including the brick, right?
Correct.
Okay. Why'd you want to smash his car window?
Like I said, it wasn't intentional. I was just throwing things because I was upset.
And when you were throwing things, you were also screaming things at him, like you were going to send your brother Keyshawn over to kill him, right?
Never, ever, ever said the word kill at all.
Okay, so when you were yelling at him, telling him that you're sending your brother Keyshawn over, it was just to shoot up his shit?
I texted that message. Yes, I did.
When you were screaming and yelling at him while you still were at his house, and telling him that you're sending Keyshawn over, what exactly did
I never threatened him. The messages between me and my brother were only between me and my brother.
I thought like only like kids did that, where it's like, you know, I'm gonna go tell my mom and send my mom over to your house and fuck you up. I'm gonna tell my brothers. I thought it was like something like the kids do. Like when you're like in your 20s, like do you threaten your significant other with like your brothers and stuff like that?
We have never seen those messages, and so everything has came out.
To this day, you're aware that Travis's car...
Or you just deal with it yourself. I don't know. Patron, she sent her brother into the dangerous situation.
Car window was smashed, right?
Correct.
Did you do it?
Yes.
When did you do it?
Right before I left.
While Travis was still outside?
I don't know if he was outside or inside, but he was still outside yelling.
Okay, so we saw some video yesterday that after you left. Travis is still outside. You remember that?
Yeah.
So your testimony is that while he's outside, you smashed his car window, right?
No, I wasn't there at that point. I think I was already on my way home at that point because I didn't see those videos. When he came outside with no shirt on and all that, that was my first time seeing that.
So when did you exactly smash it? After you were on the lawn, picked up the brick, DJ and Travis came, they took the brick away from you. You remember that?
Correct.
And then you got in your car and you left, did you not?
Yeah.
All right, so you didn't break the car window at that point, right?
I was throwing things, so it could have hit it at that point.
So it's possible that you hit it while Travis was still outside, or had he gone back in the house?
I'm not sure.
You also, when you left the house, you called your brother Keyshawn. You remember that?
Did her ex-husband or husband testify? I have no idea.
Yes.
Okay, and you were still crying and upset when you called him, right?
Yes.
And then you also called Tyler Robinson when you left Travis's house, did you not?
Yes.
And you were crying and upset at that point as well.
Yes.
And you told both of them that Travis had picked you up and slammed you to the ground, right?
Yes.
And that he had disrespected you.
Yes.
And you also sent a text message to Keyshawn at roughly 9:45 that Travis dropped you to the ground. You remember that?
Yep.
And in response to that text message, Keyshawn sent a group text message to you and Tyler Robinson that Travis is a dead man walking. Is that correct?
Yes.
Oh no.
And that's the message that you deleted from your phone, right?
No, I deleted the shoot his shit up message.
And you also deleted the dead man walking message.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't remember if I did or not.
Why did you delete messages so that this jury couldn't see them?
Oh no.
It is argumentative phrase that way. Rephrase, please.
Why
Sustained.
would you delete evidence so that it's not available for the jury to see?
The evidence wasn't deleted for the jury not to see because clearly I'm standing up here right now and I'm admitting that I did delete the messages and I'm confessing that I did turn my phone into the police enforcement. It wasn't for the jury not to see. After all these actions have happened, you have to understand how that looks. It looks ridiculous. Beforehand, if nothing like that happened, it would have just been words that were said. People say things when they're mad. Their adrenaline is running all the time. So that
Okay, I would accept this part of the answer. She should have deleted everything before that.
is the reason why
She's like, you know what? It was in the heat of the moment. I got really angry and it looks bad.
I deleted them after I came to the conclusion that there was a shooting.
Okay.
And you were concerned about that. You had a guilty conscience, did you not?
I still have a guilty conscience to this day, and I will say that to the jury, to everybody in here. Of course I do. That was never my intentions for no one to die or for even for him to be sitting over there right now.
Just to go shoot it up, whatever the shit was, right?
Like I said, I made a terrible choice of words during that time. I was 23. I was young. I was dumb. I made a very, very bad decision when I said those words, but it was never my intentions.
You deleted those text messages because you know that they were incriminating.
See, I don't think that's a bad statement that she made right there, too. She was 23, young, very stupid, and she feels bad about all that stuff.
Right?
No. I deleted those text messages because it actually happened.
But the fact that, like, she's, I don't know, it's just like her demeanor up there right now. Like, oh, man, did you really learn your lesson? Are you still a shitty person? Like, I don't know.
And then I was confused, and
What actually happened?
Travis shot at them. Okay. So I immediately thought in my head, they're going to think this is, I planned something. Like, that's immediately what I thought in my head.
Mm-hmm. About you getting arrested and you getting in trouble and setting this whole thing into motion.
No, I was worried about saying the wrong thing and it actually, something coming out of it. That's what I was worried about.
And you deleted it.
Correct. And when I was asked for it, I gave it to them.
Well, after you deleted those text messages before you gave your phone to Detective Vanderland.
And Detective Vanderland asked me, did you delete anything out of your phone?
I'm not asking you what she said. My question was that you deleted those text messages before you gave your phone to law enforcement. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And those text messages were never found on your phone because you deleted them. Is that not correct?
I don't know that.
And the only reason that we have those text messages is because they were found on your brother's phone, on Keyshawn's phone.
If you know, do you know?
No, I don't know.
So to this day, as you sit here, you have no clue how those text messages were discovered by law enforcement. Because
No.
they weren't on your phone. Right?
No, I don't know how.
You knew at the time of this incident that your brother owned a gun, right?
Correct.
And that was a 9mm Glock?
Correct.
And you also knew that he had owned other guns over a course of time, did you not?
I knew he had his license to carry.
I didn't ask about his license to carry. My
I'm
question was, you knew that he also had other guns during the course of the time that he first bought his first gun. He had owned other guns besides that Glock. That was my question. Not his concealed weapons permit.
She's argumentative.
What's the objection, please? Rephrase it is.
You knew that your brother owned, at the time of the incident, one gun. Is that correct? Glock?
Correct.
That's your testimony?
Correct.
But he also owned other guns, right?
I'm not sure during his time of how many guns. I don't.
Well, are you aware that he had a 9mm Taurus that he sold to Tyler Robinson?
Yes.
Okay. What other guns are you aware of that your brother had and sold?
The gun that you just mentioned. I know he sold that to Tyler.
Any other guns that you're aware of that he had and sold?
No.
You're not aware that he had a .380 that he purchased and sold?
No.
You knew that Tyler Robinson also, at the time of the incident, owned a gun, the Taurus 9mm, did you not?
No.
The gun that your brother sold, you weren't aware that Tyler still.
I'm not aware of the exact transaction, when the transaction happened, how many.
I mean, I would assume if they were gonna go after her, they would have done it by now. But I mean, probably not. She testified on behalf of their. Yeah, I don't think so. She's testifying like for them.
Days. I'm not aware of that, but yes, I am aware that the gun was sold to Tyler.
And you're aware that Tyler Robinson.
Their main concern was going after this guy.
Since that Tyler Robinson, in fact, did take a gun with him to Travis Rudolph's house, right? If you know.
If you know.
Didn't know that.
So to this day, as you're sitting here, you're telling this jury.
Hold
on. You're telling this jury as you sit here today under oath that this is the first time you're hearing that Tyler Robinson brought a gun with him to Travis Rudolph's house. Is that what you're telling the jury?
No.
So when did you learn that Tyler Robinson brought a gun to Travis Rudolph's house?
I can't remember the exact time I learned.
But you know that now, right? Right?
Yes, I know that now.
So you tell Tyler and your brother to go shoot his shit up, and Tyler Robinson actually brought a gun to his house, right? Is that yes?
Yes.
Have you ever asked Tyler Robinson why he brought his gun there?
He says he carries his
The
gun.
question is, did you ask him?
No, I never asked him.
You were just going to give an answer. So which is it?
You didn't let me, so you choose.
Ms. Jones, just answer.
Sorry.
Question was.
What was the question?
Question was, did you
Can
ever
we,
ask?
can we just actually leave the camera on the judge? I just want to see the judge's reaction.
No.
Okay, next question.
Is the way you talk to me, is that the way you talk to Travis?
How am I talking to you? I feel like I'm being respectful.
Okay. So you just made a comment to me.
Sustained.
You didn't call the police that night to report that Travis Rudolph picked you up by your feet and slammed you to the ground 2 times, committing a battery on you, right?
No.
You were battered, though, right? That's your testimony.
Correct.
Your testimony is also that you were basically falsely imprisoned and held against your will. Did you call the police to tell them that?
No.
Instead, you drove home, right?
Correct.
To Delray?
Yes.
And Keyshawn was there?
Correct.
And you were crying and upset?
I kind of calmed down by the time I got there.
All right. And you and Keyshawn had a conversation about
All 4 witnesses messed this trial up. Who are the 4 witnesses?
what had happened, right?
Yes.
Oh, is it like her and the other 3 dudes?
And you testified yesterday on direct examination that Keyshawn told me I was overly tripping. It's not serious.
Both of us, not just me.
Who?
Me and Travis, like, we're both overly tripping. It
What
wasn't
does
that serious.
overly tripping mean?
Just meaning in relationships, sometimes things get out of hand for no reason, and an outsider can see better than me and him inside the relationship.
Okay, so you told the jury that Keyshawn told you that, right?
Correct.
So your brother is telling you basically that this wasn't that serious, right?
And yeah, he was going to just go over there and speak with him. Correct.
The question was that he told you that this wasn't serious, right?
I said yes.
So you didn't have any bruises or scratches on your face, right?
No, but I did have injury.
You didn't have any bruises or scratches to your arm, did you?
No.
You didn't have any bruises or scratches on your neck, right?
No, but I did just have.
Any bruises or scratches on your back, right?
No.
Wait, what did she have? So when she went to her brothers and told her brothers that he hurt her, was she just like, oh, he shoved me?
You would agree, Ms. Jones?
If she showed up and she was like completely bruised up and fucked up and the brothers were like high on emotion, grabbed the gun, ran to his house and confronted him, I could understand that. I don't think it's the right thing to do because you fucking called the cops, right? But like I could understand like the I don't know, the impulsivity of that. But like if she showed up and she was like completely fine and they went over there and just like took her word for it, like, oh yeah, he like grabbed me. Yeah, go over there and shoot him with a gun. I don't know. That's just like the escalation there is so fucking insane.
Ones that you don't need to bring 3 men with you if you're just going to go talk to somebody.
Sustained.
You testified that you were the one that told Keyshawn to go talk to him, right?
Correct.
So it wasn't Keyshawn saying, I'm going to go be your protector and take care of this. You're the one that encouraged him to go do that, right?
No, when I told him what happened, he instantly is like, I'm gonna go holler I'm gonna go talk to Travis.
You just told this jury that it was you who told him to go talk to him. That's what you told this jury yesterday. That's what you just answered, and now you're changing your answer. So which?
I'm not changing my answer at all. Me and him had a mutual conversation, and the mutual conversation was
Hi,
I told him
Jeannie.
what happened. He said he was going to go speak with them, and I agreed.
Yesterday you told this jury that you're the one that told him to go talk to Travis.
Like I said, it was a mutual. I told him to go talk to them, and he said he was going to already on his own.
After you told him to go do it, right? That's what you told this jury yesterday.
Overrule.
Isn't that true?
Yes.
Okay. After the shooting took place, Chris Lowe and Keyshawn FaceTimed you, isn't that correct?
Correct.
And that FaceTime call was made before you got to the hospital and gave your statement to Detective Ema. You remember?
No, I was already at the hospital when they called me.
But that call was made before you gave your statement to Detective Ema.
Correct.
So before you gave your first sworn statement to law enforcement, you had already spoken with Chad Lowe and your brother about what happened, right?
Incorrect. The conversation was more of him crying, saying he thinks Sebastian died. It was more of an
Wait, that makes no sense. No way. She made it a lie, sent the guys out to kill him. They parked 2 blocks away from his house so he would not know they're at his house. They left the phones in the car. That makes no sense because doesn't she know that he has a, wasn't there footage of this? Like surveillance footage? Did he have like surveillance footage outside of his house or something like that? I saw a thumbnail. Wouldn't she be like, hey guys, there's like surveillance footage at his house? That makes no fucking sense. Is she just not thinking? Or did they have ski mask on or something like that?
emotional conversation. It wasn't a sit down and let's discuss exactly what happened.
Well, they told you that Sebastian had died, right?
Correct.
And they told you that Tyler told you he had a gun, right?
I'm sorry, I'm not understanding your question.
Didn't you also become aware that Tyler Robinson had a gun that night with him at that point?
Not at that moment, no.
So they only told you that Sebastian died, and you didn't ask, oh my God, how? What happened? Tell me how this could have occurred.
It was an emotional moment. They're speaking with law enforcement. I'm at the hospital with Tyler's mom. There's not really much conversation on the table to discuss what happened.
You know one person's dead. You know another person's wounded.
Correct.
You're not curious or asking questions about how this happened.
No, I am. I called Daryl.
Yeah, we're at 1.5 speed. This is a bit lengthy. We at 1.5 speed. It's pretty lengthy.
Who?
DJ, Travis's brother. I called him.
I'm not talking about DJ.
But you're asking me if I was curious, so I said yes, I was. I called the person who I called.
Curious when you were speaking with Chris Lowe and Keyshawn is my question.
No, because they were emotional. They're crying. They're distraught. They're not in the right state of mind. So I wasn't asking them personal questions like that.
But you've already testified that you FaceTimed with your brother and Keyshawn right after the shooting, right?
Well, Keyshawn's my brother, so Keyshawn and Chris.
Keyshawn and Chris, yes. You testified that you already FaceTimed and you already spoke about it right after the shooting, right?
We didn't really speak that much about the exact shooting is what I'm trying to say. It was more of a Sebastian, he thinks Sebastian's dead. He was crying, things like that.
And around 2:45 in the morning, you actually gave a sworn statement to a detective that was at the hospital. Is that correct?
Correct.
Oh,
That
no.
was Detective Ema. Is that right?
Yes.
What did she say?
You didn't tell Detective Ema at 2:45 that morning, while you were giving your sworn statement under oath, subject to perjury, that you told Keyshawn to go shoot up his shit, right?
I don't remember the exact. That was the very, very first statement I ever gave him. I don't remember exactly what I said.
Oh, they hid the guns? Wait, so when the shooting happened, did they drive themselves to the hospital? Or was it like the shooting happened and then police and ambulance showed up? But by that time, they'd already stashed the gun somewhere? Yeesh. Wouldn't she be in trouble if her and his friends would have killed this guy? Why wouldn't she be held responsible for the other guy dying after sending them? I don't know. I'm assuming that the state was going after Travis. And so since that was their main focus, they probably just told her, was like, hey, you know, like, cooperate with us. And then, like, we'll go after him or something. I don't know. We're not going to go after you. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I'm assuming. I'm going to use the restroom real quick, guys. Guys, get up. Use the bathroom. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Hey, what time is it? Because I gotta eat lunch soon. We need a tinkle counter. I know how to make one, but my Stream Elements work sometimes. I don't know. Whenever pee break is this, I don't know, 4 or 5, 3, 2. I'm drinking lots of water, okay? Look at this. Look at this big thing. I'm on my second one right now. And I chugged a protein shake earlier. All right, guys. Back to, what's her name? Dominique?
You never told him about the text message to go shoot up his shit, did you?
I don't recall.
Did you ever tell Detective Ema that Keyshawn texted you and Tyler back that Travis was a dead man walking? Do you remember ever telling him that?
I don't recall.
Sure that you didn't?
I don't recall.
Man, a lot of I don't recalls. Oh, no. Yeah, I just don't want to get a UTI. I'm trying to stay hydrated. I got dry skin.
You may. You want to show the state what you're...
Oh no, here come the receipts.
Of what transcript? Thank you.
What's the page number? I'm sorry.
130. Yes. If you look at lines 11, 17, please.
This is exactly what I just said to you.
And it's true that I was asking you questions during that statement in November that are similar to the questions I just asked you now, right?
Wait, fix the mic, please. Fix the mic.
About whether you shared with Detective Ema the text message that you instructed.
Nah, man, this is a wig too. Y'all can't tell?
Yeah, well, technically it is, but I'm going to allow it. Go ahead.
I asked the question, and you didn't tell Detective Ema that you had instructed Tyler and Keyshawn to go shoot up Travis's shit, right? Answer no.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, the answer says no, and I said I didn't I don't recall.
Okay. So now you recall that?
Yeah, now that I'm reading it, you have to remember this is a year or two ago, so my memory is a little bit more fresher back then. So if you can show me something, I have no problem owning up to it. So yes, here I did say no.
All right, so you never told Detective Ema.
Wait, is she behind? So I just noticed this. Is she behind like a plexiglass? Why? Is this like some anti-COVID spreading shit? What is this? What is this like display case that she's in?
Did you tell Detective Ema that Tyler Robinson had a gun?
I can't tell. Honestly, I can never tell because wigs nowadays, when they make these wigs, they make them look really good. There's a YouTuber that I watch and she wears like all types of wigs. I can never tell that's a wig. That's what my science teacher said.
Because I don't think I knew he had one or not at that moment.
Going to be trouble? Do you remember making?
I don't remember. Okay.
Does that refresh your memory about what happened? What you said to him?
Not really, but Keyshawn was...
My question is...
No, it doesn't.
My question was that you didn't tell Detective Ema about Linda, that you had spoken to her, and that you told her that there was going to be trouble, right?
At this moment in time when I'm talking to this detective, I'm just learning and finding out about everything that's going on. I might have missed a lot of details that I then came forth and spoke about, but you're asking me nitty-gritty details that at the time when I'm speaking to a detective, I'm not going to remember or recall because I'm just not finding out someone died.
Okay, so the details that you left out to Detective Ema were nitty-gritty?
I'm not saying nitty gritty, but there are details. But I'm speaking on a death at the point when I'm talking to the detective. Someone's dead. I'm not really worried about what text I sent or what text someone else sent. When it came time for us to speak on that, I spoke on that. And I was 100% honest about everything that I had said. But during the time where I'm just finding out,
They must have installed it during COVID or something and they just like left it up there.
somebody who's very close to me has passed away, that's the least thing on my mind at the moment. I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Detective Ema was asking you very specific questions, right?
Not necessarily. How,
You're just rambling and just going freestyle?
I guess what it just looks bad because the stuff that she can't recall are things that are pretty important details.
I was kind of rambling and just saying from what I know like has happened from the night.
Okay, well, his statement started at 2:44 a.m. and ended at 3 o'clock. So it was roughly
15 minutes.
20 minutes or so.
That's what I'm saying. That's not really...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, honestly, don't play with guns. Don't threaten people with guns, you know? Shit's gonna go down. You know, sometimes you're gonna mess with someone who's not gonna take your shit and they'll probably fire back. I don't know. Like, there's been a lot of follow home robberies in LA. And basically, like, you go to like a rich area in LA, you get spotted. a bunch of people, like maybe like 4 people, get in a car, follow you around till you get home. And it's usually like late night. So like maybe you're drunk, maybe you just like went out clubbing or something like that, and you're driving home. They follow you back, they tail you, and that's when they fucking go after and fucking rob you. But what these people aren't realizing, that I didn't realize, but like I don't know, these people be carrying in LA. So like this literally happened like across the street from me, where there was this group of 4 guys who followed this dude home with his girlfriend. And I guess like maybe he had like a really nice watch or something like that. And they followed him for like 30, 40 minutes. And then when he got out of this car, they tried robbing him. Lo and behold, they didn't fucking realize that he had a fucking gun. He fucking shot back.
I'm fine.
And
Like-
during the course of that statement, he asked you a number of questions, right?
All right, feel free to stand up and stretch, ladies and gentlemen, but please remember to
Stand up
obey
and
at least 3 of the
stretch.
4 cardinal rules. One of them is inapplicable at this point.
Oh, is that the, oh, that's how she looks like? Hey, see your face now.
All right, you may continue, Ms. Burlett. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You just got COVID for the first time? Oh no, Kelly. I caught it for the first time too about a month ago. I'm so sorry that you're sick. Oh, I haven't gotten COVID yet. But yeah, I don't know. It still seems pretty rough. Like the people that I know that got COVID during like the holiday season, they were knocked out for like almost like a good week. Oof.
Room break rules again, research and keep.
What is this, like a little break? What's going on here? Court is on a brief break. Okay. Clicky. 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 Clicky, clicky.
Of the warrants that are coming in, Ms. Burlett.
Him asking you specific questions.
You got body aches? Oof. Yeah. The one that really sucks are like the body aches, and then when you lose your sense of taste for a little bit, and it's like you're just miserable, you know? Food sucks. Ugh. Eating sucks. You're in pain. Everything just sucks.
It was more of you were just telling him everything because of your state of mind was pretty harried because you had...
So, Micha, is there anything else with this cross-examination, or are we good? Should we keep watching, or are we good? You said something about like the hand to the face thing, but did it already happen? I know, Americans and our damn guns.
Just found out that Sebastian was killed and Tyler was shot, right?
Correct.
Is that what you told the jury?
Yes.
Okay. And
I mean, it's just a small amount of few people that just ruins it for the rest of us, right?
you recall the statement being roughly 15
We're
to 20
good?
minutes in length?
Okay, because I don't know. I feel like we ain't really, just gonna go back and forth. All right, we got the message. All right, she's spicy. This lawyer's also spicy. Them two together, extra spicy. No, what? Some people had extreme hair fall after COVID. I didn't hear about that. Good, and the tinfoil hat people are real. Listen, I haven't caught up with the UFO stuff yet. I'm a little behind on all the internet shit. When I had COVID, I remember I had a horrible taste in my mouth. You got COVID 3 times. It sucked. Elderberry, took some vitamin D. Hope you feel better. Yeah, when I got my second COVID vax, dude, that shit fucked me up like that night. Holy shit. I had a weird lump underneath my armpit. It was my lymph node getting swollen. And apparently that happens to like 1 out of 10 people. But my lymph node got swollen. It was really ridiculous because when I was sleeping, I couldn't sleep like this. I had to sleep in like a little T pose. It was so painful. And then yeah, I don't know. My body felt like crap that night. But yeah, that was rough. Yeah, I don't know. I hope I never get COVID. Ugh, ugh, ugh. You don't know about the UFO stuff? I don't know. I heard about it. I just rolled my eyes. But I mean, if there's something out there that's real, I'm all for it. You haven't had COVID either. Knock on wood. You got ill. Oof, after the 3rd shot. I haven't gotten my 3rd one yet. I don't think. Did I? Oh no, I did get 3. There's like 1. There's the 2nd one, and then there's like a 3rd one, right? Yeah. Sorry. I think I'm supposed to get my 4th one, but I haven't gotten that one yet. It's more like put up or shut up. What is it again? Like a whistleblower that works for the government or something? Is that what it is? I'm super behind. Someone mentioned, let's see, it's going. Jesus. I was supposed to do a huge catch up with the Murdoch and the Lori Vallow stuff, but now I'm so lazy. I'm so lazy. There's so much going on. Wait a second. Dude, they got like some hospital footages of the Alexi Treviso stuff. I guess this is what that person is. Jeez. This is like, oh, this is security camera footage at the hospital. You remember when I was I don't know, these videos like I don't know, I can't tell. People are arguing about whether or not she looked pregnant. Jeez, there's more. All right, well maybe we'll catch up with this later on. I'm side-eyeing her mom. I think it's pretty. The funniest thing is the one with the humanoid thing flying in the sky. The guy's filming it. I haven't seen any of this. Sorry, I'm just catching up on something. Oh, maybe we'll come back to this. Okay, sorry guys. I got sidetracked really quick. What else is there? Was there anything else, Micha? I don't know if I have time to watch the you said there was like the 3 guys and then there is the detective. What's in the detective's testimony? The variants are even weaker. I just hear they're more like infectious. I just don't want to get it. Oh no. COVID looks like it sucks ass. She won't look for evidence that she doesn't know exists. Hi, Heathen. How are you doing today? Hello. What's going on? Hold on, let me refresh Court TV really quick to see if they update anything else for the Kouri Richins. Oh, hold on. We got more stuff. Okay. Back to Kouri Richins. I don't know. We're just waiting on Court TV to upload stuff, so we're just doing things in between. All right. Back to Kouri Richins. Let me update my title. Kouri Richins detention hearing. What's the title of this video? Sister of Eric Richins claims that Kouri Richins attacked her. Oh, I heard about this. I think it was this day that he died. Sorry, I'm updating my title right now. All right, back to Kouri Richins stuff. You think the book lady got her bail declined? Yeah, that's what it seems. All right, back to Kouri Richins. All right, guys. You guys missed it earlier. Kouri Richins is currently... Whoop. She's in big trouble right now. She was arrested not too long ago. Or actually, you know what? How long has she been arrested for? It's been over a month, I think. She's been arrested for a bit. Yeah, she was arrested a while ago. She allegedly murdered her husband with fentanyl, poisoned him through Moscow Mule, and she wrote a book about grief, a children's book about grief. And yeah, she was subsequently arrested almost a year later. So that happened. All right, let's listen to this really quick. All right, I'm sure Court TV will upload stuff slowly. We'll probably just, I don't know. Maybe I'll stream it tomorrow. Comes out with the rest. We'll see. About to binge watch your videos. Thanks. She Googled interesting topics. Yeah, we went to the search results already. That was, it was pretty rough, man. Pretty rough. All right, let's listen to this.
Go ahead.
Dear Judge Mrazek, I'm here today to represent my
Wait, hold on. My audio sucks right now. Okay. Oh, this is his sister. All right.
Go ahead.
Dear Judge Mrazek, I'm here today to represent my brother, Eric Eugene Richins, whose life was taken in a senseless act of poisoning on March 3rd, 2022. His wife, the defendant, has been accused of committing this crime. If she is found guilty, she has committed the ultimate act of betrayal. Eric is gone, and I am brokenhearted. He was my best friend and protector. The feeling of loss is so great it is visceral. And with the sorrow comes a wave of panic at not being able to see him again.
I bet they are, Chopper. I bet. Ugh.
I can never talk to him, never hug him again, and never more be a part of his life. Eric's world revolved around his family, his love for hunting, the family cattle ranch, and his intense drive as a successful entrepreneur. Being born into the Richins legacy shaped Eric's formative years.
No, this is not a trial. This is just a hearing. It's like we're not even at trial yet.
And resulted in a lifetime of hard work, dedication, and fierce loyalty. At an early age, Eric learned the joys of keeping horses and cows around. He spent countless hours helping our dad work the ranch, hauling hay, feeding the animals, and mending fences. He loved our family unconditionally and was a devoted son, brother, uncle, and father. Eric was a family man who always strove to be the absolute best father and husband. He was an attentive and loving father to his 3 sons and a devoted husband to his wife of almost 9 years, Kouri, the defendant. Eric did absolutely everything in his power to provide his family and his 3 sons with every possible opportunity to learn, grow, and have fun. He was the coach or assistant coach on all his boys' teams, which included soccer, basketball, and baseball. He spent countless hours coaching and teaching the boys to play aggressive and give it their all. Eric truly cared about every single child he coached and wanted the absolute best for all of them. There was never a dull moment when you were around Eric, whether it was him showing up to a family dinner with no socks or the sleeves torn off of his shirt because he had to make an emergency bathroom stop along the way, or his calling to tell you he rolled the 4-wheeler for the upteenth time is stuck and he needs you to come get him. It was never boring. Eric loved to have fun and always wanted to make sure everyone else did as well.
Yeah, I think I don't remember. We just read the article, but they have 3 sons. 5, 7, 9, I think. I think those were the numbers. Someone correct me.
Almost every motorized toy possible, from 4-wheelers and side-by-sides to trucks and snowmobiles, and was so excited to share those with his sons. He had the perfect combination of business sense and foresight. He built a very successful masonry business from the ground up and helped many friends do the same. He had a special ability to build close relationships with everyone he worked with, which really allowed his business to thrive. Eric loved every aspect of his job, but most of all, he loved the people he worked for and those he worked with.
Oh, 6, 7, and 9?
Eric faithfully supported organizations that he truly believed in. He never was one that wanted recognition or accolades. He did most things anonymously and without recognition. Eric was a true champion of all people. It did not matter if you were an employee, friend, family, or the next random person walking down the street. If you needed anything, you could count on him. He truly cared about each person he met. Eric loved fully, laughed loudly, and lived life with reckless abandon. He enjoyed great adventures to far-off places, but also cherished the small and finer things in life. No obstacle was too great for Eric. He simply viewed each one as a challenge. No peak was too high, and the next adventure was always just around the next bend. Words cannot describe the loneliness and loss that is felt in every heart that was lucky enough to know him. Eric was such an inspiration and role model for us all. His loss has created a Grand Canyon-sized hole in this community. Except instead of taking millions of years to slowly form,
Because Micha, it confused people. They were like, what is this?
our worlds change overnight. His 3 boys' entire worlds and their perspectives on life changed. None of our lives will ever be the same. Eric died under horrendous circumstances. I am tormented at the thought of what he endured. I play it out in my mind. I go through the terrible sequence of events. I wonder when he realized he was in mortal danger. I wonder what Kouri may have said to him in his last moments. How long was he conscious, knowing he would die? Where were Eric's boys when all of this happened? Did they hear Eric's body fall to the ground? Did they catch a glimpse of their father taking his last breath? It's torture to think of. Why did Eric lose his life? Why did the boys lose their father? Was it because of Kouri's greed and desire to get life insurance and other assets? If so, that is abhorrent. How could anyone value life, human life?
Wait a second. Defense attorney. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but it looks like the defense attorney was like, reminder, hello, tissue? Yep. Put it to your eye? Okay, there you go. There you go, honey.
Why did the boys lose their father?
I mean, she could be crying for real, but...
Was
You're
it
being
because of
cynical.
Kouri's greed and desire to get life insurance and other assets? If so, that is abhorrent. How could anyone value life,
Yeah, you shut it, Brandon. I was right. Yeah, you shut it.
human life so cheaply?
You're good,
I
you're
cannot
good.
comprehend it. I'm overflowing with grief and pain at the thought that Eric meant so little to her. If Eric had died because of an illness, he would have been cared for. He could have looked after him and been with him. If he had died because of an accident, people would have tried to help. There would have been kindness. But there's no comfort to be had here. There's no consoling thought in the way Eric died. In his last moments, after being intentionally poisoned, he was faced with betrayal and terror. The thought of it is unbearable. I am haunted by the horror of it. This last year has been a living hell for our family. We have watched as Kouri has paraded around portraying herself as a living widow and victim while trying to profit from the death of my brother. Both by trying to profit from a book about his death and trying to get life insurance and assets that should go exactly where Eric wanted them to his boys. Immediately after Eric was killed, Kouri told us she could not help us get anything ready for the funeral as she was too distraught with grief. We shortly found out that was not true at all. In fact, she pulled herself together enough to go close on the purchase of a $2 million home, hire a real estate agent, hire an architect to create CAD drawings of the home, hire a lawyer in order to file a lawsuit on Eric's trust, hire a locksmith to come break into and clean out my brother's safe, and attempt to have Eric cremated. She mustered up the strength and resolve to do most of this within 48 hours of his death.
What? I thought this was like months after his death. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh my god. Kouri. Wait, what did she do again? Okay, I mean, it could, maybe the sister's lying.
Grief. We shortly found out that was not true at all. In fact, she pulled herself together enough to go close on the purchase of a $2 million home, hire a real estate agent, hire an architect to create CAD drawings of the home, hire a lawyer in order to file a lawsuit on Eric's trust,
Oh no.
hire a locksmith to come break into.
Wait, so did she find out that she wasn't the what do you call it again? Is it the executor of the trust? That like he had changed it from back to his sister? And she had a locksmith?
And clean out my brother's safe.
Okay, maybe she had maybe there were some important documents that she had to get from there that she needed to do something. Oh god. Cuz okay, here's the thing. I think it sounds worse that she was unable to help with the funeral, but then in the meantime, within 48 hours after his death, she was doing all these other things. Oof. Oof.
An attempt to have Eric cremated. She mustered up the strength and resolve to do most of this within 48 hours of his death. Kouri assaulted me. I will never forget the look in her eyes when she attacked me that Sunday morning. It was early and had been snowing most of the night. I was just getting ready to leave and heading out to the car when I saw a locksmith in Eric's detached garage starting to drill out his gun safe. I asked Kouri multiple times why we could not just call my dad for the code. I could not understand why she was breaking into and ruining Eric's safe. To this, she screamed at me at the top of her lungs, called me some inappropriate things I cannot share with you here.
Share it. You better say it.
And then told me to get out of her house. It was then that I told her that she could not kick me out of my brother's house. My sister, Katie, was now the executor of Eric's trust and estate.
Oof.
And
yeah, executor.
just like Eric, she would not want the defendant breaking into his gun safe. Kouri looked at me with pure hatred and rage. I was messing up her plan. I was getting in her way. And because of that, she attacked me. She punched me in the face and neck multiple times. It took 4 people to pull her off me that day.
Oh no. We're gonna have 4 witnesses. Oh my god. Oof, Kouri, not looking good. Not looking good.
Before the funeral, Kouri opened a bank account and asked everyone that was grieving to send her money instead of sending the family cards and flowers. It was not even 2 weeks after Eric's passing that we were told she had taken down all but one photo of my brother and removed all his clothing from the house. Kouri put together a golf tournament in Eric's name 2 months after his death on what would have been his 40th birthday and told his family, all of us, that we were not allowed to attend.
No.
Since Eric's death,
dude, she was so pissed. Oh my gosh, she sounds so evil.
It has come to our attention that Kouri took out multiple life insurance policies on Eric without his knowledge.
Yeah, also, how do you take life insurance policy? Okay, hold on a second. You know what? Just kidding, because we did go through the life insurance policy process, and you know what? It was pretty easy. It was pretty easy. Oh, yikes. Except for the one where sometimes they do have to send, they send someone over to come exempt. Who the fuck is snoring? Oh, God. Oh, you're underneath my desk. I was wondering where you were. Somebody was snoring so loud. Oh, I'm so sorry, Quirky. Oh, I was wondering where you were. He was underneath my desk the entire time. I was like, who the fuck is snoring so loud? Jesus. I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. So, like, yeah, getting the life insurance policy thing was pretty easy. But sometimes they do send over like a medical person to assess your health. They do the blood workup and all that stuff, but it doesn't happen all the time.
It appears that she forged his signature on various documents.
I think there's like a threshold. Like once you hit a certain amount, maybe that's when they send someone over to assess your health. But yeah, like Dennis got his health assessed, but I didn't get my health assessed.
Assigned herself as Eric's durable power of attorney, inappropriately diverted money from his business to herself, and assigned herself as beneficiary of Eric's portion of our mother's retirement account.
Jeez. Yeah, that's very unfortunate they have to live through this. She killed for money and now she's locked up for life. I mean, she's not locked up. She's facing prison, but I don't know. She might get off. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But things are looking pretty rough. We'll see. Quick question. Her getting a CAD drawing done in 40 hours is unlikely. Did she say that she was maybe she said she was putting a request in to get the CAD drawing. I don't know. CAD architecture. Anyone getting CAD architecture drawing in 2 days? I don't know. What does CAD stand for? Yeah, I think what she meant to say, I don't know. We could re-listen to it, but I think what she meant to say was like she like hired someone to like get it started. I don't know if she meant like they got it done and completed. I don't know. But yeah. My ex-husband took credit cards in our 2-year-old daughter's name. I didn't discover it till he died. Bad credit before walking. What? But like, it's not like it's under your daughter's like, it's not like it's like tied under your daughter, right? It's like still tied under like your husband's like Social Security and shit. Because I know Amex has this thing where you can add a fuck, what was it again on Amex? There's a term for it. American Express, you get a credit card under like one of your family members, but it's like if anything goes down with that card, like if you don't pay off your shit, it still is on the onus of the person that took out the like the initial card holder or something. Was it her name in Social Security? Didn't they ask for like birth date? Yeesh. Hi Joe, how are you doing today? Yeah, my mom used to do some shady stuff too, because like she opened a bank account for us. And she had access to it, and bro, if you have a shady parent who is in desperate need of money because they have bad money management and have gambling issues, you get fucked over. Okay, I don't know. Be careful. So I had to close that bank account down because she was just fucking shit up for me.
I should also not forget to mention the multiple life insurances she has taken out on the boys. Her most recent business venture was authoring a children's book about how to help grieving children cope with the loss of the death of a parent. In this book, she had the audacity to use the boys' real names and even use their last family portrait. Her behavior gives me great concern, as she has exploited the boys for money and will likely do so again.
Oh, does she think that at some point she might do something to the boys if she was taking like life insurance policies on them? I don't know. I don't know if she was trying to like make a jab at that.
In addition, Kouri has weaponized Eric's children, manipulating my dad to do or not do things by threatening to cut him out of their lives if he did not capitulate to her demands. She similarly deprived the boys of contact with myself, my sister, and her daughters, unless we agreed to give her the money in Eric's trust. Money that Eric wanted to go to his 3 children. As if that were not enough, I've been told that Kouri started telling their 3 little boys that none of Eric's family or friends loved them.
No.
She apparently told them none of us cared for them or wanted to be around them, even though that is the exact opposite of what was happening. We all want nothing more than to be there for those 3 little boys, my nephews, yet Kouri has made sure to cut us out of every aspect of their lives. This is all just a brief summary and the start of what our family has been through.
No way. Is that just a theory, or is that something that was actually brought up? She had plans to make a future book for grieving your sibling's death. Are you just like saying that? Why you should keep an eye on your credit? Bro, I was like a fucking teenager. Okay, I was like 15 years old.
Through over the last year.
Now that you're older, yeah,
We have
definitely.
scarcely gone a day without finding out some new allegations or evidence regarding something Kouri appears to have maliciously done to attack and undermine my brother, his 3 little boys, and our family. We have all been there since the beginning of Kouri's and Eric's relationship. I was there on one of their first dates. We were there at the wedding. We were there when each of the boys were born. We have been there for every birthday party, school graduation, and rodeo. We welcomed her into our family and treated her as one of us. Not only did she betray our brother, it feels as though she has murdered and taken away a part of our souls as well. Because of her actions, there has not been a day that has gone by we have not lived with paralyzing anxiety and fear, worrying for the boys' lives as well as our own. I may be naive, but I never knew evil like this existed.
We watched the TV interview. So dark what happened to her to end up like this? I mean, honestly, the boring answer is like money, greed. Fucking money, man. I don't know. Ugh.
If Kouri was in fact willing to kill Eric for money, who's to say that what she will not do? Who would be next? Kouri was in a desperate financial situation when Eric was killed, and that situation seems even worse now. We understand that she has default.
Wait, oh, never mind. She's getting there. Because I'm like, what was she so desperate in her financial situation? One, she was married to a guy, I guess, like rich. I think she was making her own income. She was like a real estate agent or something like that, right? Like, what desperation do you have? And also, she's like fairly young. Like, when I say young, I think she's like in her like early 30s. She can work for the rest of her life. She doesn't have any disabilities or anything like that that prevents her from fucking working. It's like, you did it for no reason. It's so dumb.
Defaulted on loans and is already a defendant in other lawsuits based.
Oh, okay. So she was in lawsuits, defaulted on loans.
Worse now. We understand that she has defaulted on loans and is already a defendant in other lawsuits based on her financial misdeeds.
I mean, it could be untrue though. This is what the sister is saying, but yeah, we don't know. We'll wait for the trial to happen.
I am truly concerned that she will stop at nothing to dig her way out of the problems, including murder. She seems devoid of moral sensibility, and there is no telling what she will do if she is released. Judge Mrazek, her fate lies in your hands. Please do not allow Kouri to use the fraudulent life insurance proceeds to get out on bail. That would be morally reprehensible. Please do not allow Kouri to take advantage and make a mockery of our justice and legal system anymore. She has done enough. Please do not allow Kouri to hurt Eric's memory, our family, friends, and community anymore. We have been through enough. Please do not give Kouri the opportunity to hurt Eric's 3 boys anymore. They have lost enough and have been through enough. Since Eric's death, we have learned and unfortunately are continually reminded that Kouri is desperate, greedy, and extremely manipulative. If she gets out on bail, I will be afraid not only for my own life and those of all of my family, but most importantly for the lives of Eric's 3 sons. Our family has already suffered enough. Please do not let Kouri out on bail where she will be a risk to do further harm. Please protect what Eric put his life on the line for, his 3 boys. Thank you.
Maybe, thank you.
Of course, her family will defend her. Honestly, like, hey B, how are you doing today? So someone in my chat was mentioning that her family, Kouri's family and her husband's family, they're fighting over the kids right now. How does the court decide where the kids go? How do you, yeah, it's the book lady. The book, Mezcal Mule lady. No way she's getting bail. Of course, her family would defend her. 2 incomes are better than 1. He seemed like a good guy. I mean, we don't know that, right? It's interesting that she doesn't have a single positive thing to say about her. She wanted to buy an unfinished house with his money and flip it. He said no. Yeah, I remember hearing about that too. I don't know. How does the court decide where the kids go? Because even though the mom is being accused of murder, it doesn't technically mean that her parents are bad, right? But, yeesh. I don't know. Oh, I feel so bad for the kids. Like, I don't know. Like, that's like one of the worst things to happen to you in your household, right? To be removed from your house, your family, no mom, dad. Like, I don't know. That's so tough. Court deciding is always super true. Again, like, where are the kids now? Where are they staying now? I hope it's not one of those scenarios where they have to stay in like foster care or something while they make their decision. That'd be really stupid. I wouldn't send them to the family of the murderer. Yeah, but like, I don't know how the judge has to like assess it. Like, you know, because she's not like presumed guilty yet, but it would make sense to leave them with the victims' families. But sometimes like in scenarios where sometimes the victims, like what if it's like a victim that was like very abusive, right? I'm not saying this in this scenario, but like in other cases, let's say there was like a guy that was really abusive. The mom had no choice but to fight back and then like, maybe like stab him or something. And then she ran off. Like, I don't know. Like, that's so tough. How do you make that decision? Send the kids, the family that didn't the murder. But she's not technically a murderer yet. I don't know. Yeah, I'm very interested in, I don't know anything about family court stuff, but I think it'd be really interesting. I wish we could talk to like a judge or a lawyer that does like the family court stuff. You hope the sister gets him. Just hoping that the father's family isn't manipulative as well. Yeah, like I hope they're good people, right? But you never know. But I don't know. I guess we'll see. Okay, so I'll keep an eye out for Court TV, see if they upload anything else. Let me see. Don't forget to give your thumbs up and likes for Court TV. Go subscribe to them. Court TV and Long Crime, they are cool. All right, guys. But yeah, I think that's it for today. If you guys missed the earlier streams, we watched the earlier hearings of Kouri Richins' detention hearing. And we had a detective go up there. He was on the stand for a little bit. We had the PI with the digital evidence and the really bad search history. Just to remind you guys, this is what we had for the search history. Yeesh. We had... Can cops force you to do a lie detector test? Luxury prisons for the rich in America. Death certificate says pending. Will life insurance still pay? If someone is poison, what does it go down on the death certificate as? Wouldn't it just be like poison? How to permanently delete information from an iPhone remotely. Yeesh, it's always the search results, man. Listen, I don't know. These people and their damn search results, going to the home improvement store all of a sudden, buying a crap ton of cleaning supplies, some tools, some bags, some gloves, some rope. Like, Jesus, I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you guys had fun hanging out here. And I do stream on Twitch as well. If you guys want to hang out with me, go stop by the Twitch stream, say hello. I'm currently playing Diablo right now. And then I do like scary games and stuff on there as well. But thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you guys have a good day. And I'll see you guys later. I don't know. I'll check out the Alexi Treviso Reddit stuff. It seems like they posted some other stuff on there. So I will check it out. And other than that, join the Discord if you haven't already. We do have a true crime section. So if there's anything else that you want to share, anything true crime related, anything about cases, just post it in the true crime section in there. And I'll take a look at it. But let's see. What is this? Chunky Lover. What is this? Video shows arrest of Artesia teen months after police say she's through. Oh, the arrest video? Yeah, we watched this one already. Yeah, we watched the arrest video. Yep, we saw this one. Thanks for sharing it. But yeah, anything else you guys want me to watch, put in there, share it in there, and I'll take a look at it. What's my Twitch name? It's the same. My moniker is the same on all platforms. Corgi-san with 2 A's. Okay, I even made a Kick account the other day. What else should I make an account on? What else is there? Rumble? All right, guys. Yeah, thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you guys later. I'm probably going to eat some lunch, and then I'll hop onto Twitch, do some Diablo, and digest, and then probably head out to the gym and do some other stuff. But I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you for lurking. Thank you for chatting. And I will see y'all. No, not the KIK one. That one's like, no, not the messenger thing. Kick is like where all the banned people from YouTube go to. What is this? Star Wars Outlaw. What's a new game? Yeah, not the Kick Messenger thing. I heard stuff about that though. All right, y'all. I'll see you guys later, and take care. All right. Have a good one. If you guys miss any parts of the stream, I'll have it up on YouTube, and maybe I'll chop the stream up into pieces. We'll see.